They are singing praise, praise. My praise, my worship would go to no rock. My praise and worship would go to no tree. My praise and worship will go to no river. My praise and worship will go to no man. It will go to only God alone. The life I have this morning, the air I'm breathing this morning, the protection and the covering I had, driving all the way to the office, just been by grace, mercy, and the favor of our Lord. And I pray more about ever happy morning show so. Me more about your education and my own. Na afi yaji information, na afi yaji inspiration. And in simple, sometimes as resem eba ne asresre ye ho ne di ye ho enkomo. Wo ma Ghana ho donti ene eti hanum sei. Nti eti hanum sei a sene abetumpon, sene amensumetumpon, sene o mamuni nyina ebefa no ntuma pa efra enti na ho achi bia sorry ne beti na hanum sei. Nti na pa bi bisa say anya bia no opanyin na wo ehuru honum no wo na sedama na na me ba anapai I spend just some few minutes. It's me kemu the bompae me do nyankopon ase me de da no ahye ne nsa makache se de manim kan na wo sha ase a wo de ahopepre na epri afrifie se wo kwa abonti na akwa adwuma den because we nu ntemu a unya car. And you've forgotten to start your morning right. You've forgotten to start your morning with Christ. You've forgotten to start your morning with a song of praise. You've forgotten to even say a word of prayer. Always start right and start with God. Really, it is Samuel Shame more kwaba eba jumedi. So Samuel ya kopem na idea. Yedi headlines on the newspapers no every man for na fe no. Yabo modia yedi some tidbits as to how to keep yourself safe on the road. Yedi ho nsem enso bebre adofo. Yeba jimre ne de social media trends nkoma wo mo AD sports update kakra so yedi bebre man for eno ayesha sisi yedi nkomo efa wo man mu sane akwan no esitie motorway and a chassis yedi and enkomo na minia ofia potholes are developing on the motorway. The potholes that are developing on the motorway as a matter of concern to all of us, especially those who ply that route. A motorway that you're supposed to drive around 100. Now, the highest you can go is around 60 or 50. It's like you're doing town riding. How is that possible? The road sector, virtually the entire week to find out why our roads are that bad. Enti anapai se otetema ene ne mpotemu a menua ohun komo ene yedi so fi akra na se oye adwuma e wotema wonso ohun komo ene yedi anapai no would like to hear from you se meno edru na be phone lines ne tuma wonso audio daily experiences no how you manage that road trotro driver anapai wonso tie me se oyo bi a ofa ayetema kwan ne so a how do you manage that road? Nina idea who and command pay our happy morning show no as well into only she embomo. Some idea na yadi a road safety tablets kakra at the abroman for. As I say, a road safety tidbits no at the Brahman for Kakra. Yes, you a free ACP retired Victor Tandaho and Yene or man for Eche, Danina, Ojumidino, as well. ACP and a Pebia will be ano, Yadi in Chiacase and Yadi Emma War. Yet also not Eddie in Coma, and Ramisha Senam Nudin Como, the things you must do every blessed morning before you start your engine. The catchers of Pomodiana said, Minia, over check the water level of your car. Check here and check it with the main radiator, no, maybe radiator, no, so be a reservoir and so check is ensure no the level no at say how endobonino why gauge amawa would be the water level in your car. Make catch on the Bombardier son of a piano would a car no dipstick no whatever check it the oil a leveler a what or car no emo make catch say Bombardier say you park on a flat surface before you check the oiler a what or car no emo. Ebiem mesanso any would in how to start your car. Say and yes obetem wa tanyenyenyenye una okro no debi because say Bombardier so betina car ni mo warm the car a little bit and to start the car no engine no na all start we give it some 30 to 1 minute na car no engine no and run it na engine na and settle down. Most of the times early mornings like this will start it car no engine now it will rise a little bit na RPM no we say RPM no arise it kakra Ujana be 30 seconds, 45 seconds was after the car engine and one can settle down. That's to say, oil no a rear engine the parts on its own. on its own. And the entire engine in Yano is very much oiled up. Obi on more starting the kind of engine now. Was starting Yano Tias vroom, 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 vroom. Oh, Hakano. Let the car settle down on its own. And some will move the car at the I forgot to add, as you said, but what I said, wiper no, ensure and so much checking on the PBR, we check it and also now I also forgot to add, say, Minia, or brake fluid, you need to check it. There are key things you must check every blessed morning. And one had to do with the engine oil, the other had to do with a year or tank and ensure. And let me air count home. Bako ayo brake fluid no. Yes. Or brake fluid no. Maybe one ma in the tree. But it's one of the most important things we must check every blessed morning. Say unim adia aye baby edi guna o de o hwehwe eno ma na ya kata so no e wo car no engine mu aba ko bo say aya no o matwero dot bibi ade atoso o hwe eno a eho na brake fluid no ye de ego eno and call into the braking system of the car and into utia braking so etumi echie and so one check it and so e won gauge na say gauge no end do ni gauge no be e wo say da wona ma da ku utia breaker na brake no atom afeli because you haven't maintained the oil level and as your brake fluid no oil no level no be e wo say edru no enti body answer brake fluid here then you know woni ebeko ho na wa check here ebiem na wabo modern enso se wani ebeko hydraulic oil no so eso sometimes so anapa wo drive ya put me say no steer no emu aye den un check hydraulics na ewo mo no sometimes enso emu a etumi esa enti ni nyina no you need to check it ni nyina no so bonino I provide a gauge at the amawa gauge no minimum and the maximum it must always be at the maximum not beyond the maximum okoto okano ni nyina ne de na hu se anapa no ubie ka no se na hu se sanoma no mo nyina no ashort a wo hwe kakra ede gum then you start your engine and when a crop maybe a walk no until let's keep our cars safe on the road so kan ebeja akwemu a na che say one for any end car no echi we ene kakra mesua ede free ACP retired Victor Tando Honma anopai mede ebro samede yento so na if headlines in brother for and you welcome back ebre as I say the headlines of the newspapers no ebre adofo anopai ewo happy morning show so chimede etwagu live ewo ETV Ghana etwagu ewo happy 98.9 FM and afi ekoso ewo Nisin 95.9 and 100.1 ebobia akwaba eba chimede so I'm hoping say your morning has been great so far. Letting your dials remain here with us on Happy 98.9 FM. Fatih Shabwali Elmeje Sasuna Lumonya Mado Elmen Channel Pay Dijumedino Ebrebo. Fatih, morning.
Good morning, Sam.
We are editing. Great morning.
Morning.
Just how they own truthful.
The Bible said. Bible in the car.
Bible in the car.
Give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Yes, it's an Bible in the car.
Say Bible na and do give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar and what?
Say no car.
Say what twice and
me no na call Bible school.
Oh, that be
say
oh, that be so ashia also we
give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar.
And then
only when then faso so. Faso so pretty.
About Abranti Abrabo Munsema, the most reliable person in the Abranti no cover a person in Sunday school. No, Sunday school. Sundays in not all day.
Me. This is chasing
a
Jariam Quapo.
Problem. Richard Tasho.
Who say,
I do want to say yes, Mammy. When sending a mamuna from her to Kotokraba market.
Nah, and this is by Friday in Umeno. Was a medal, you see me was so small. No,
Sundays no more.
Yes, Sundays is no one shall say I ain't them one. on becho. Until she say Friday you may oppose work as a man want to me. Ma want to me. Kwame sa I know say those so yare na onya Sprite ne Fanta no mo. Any Lucozade. I want to me. We say ya je Lucozade ni ade na dia ba wa anti na say o de wura Saturday ni mu. Saturday we say why steady o ma bo so lose guard na yare na tiko but na asanso aba. Sunday no miem. Sunday dey na o tia mu tia. Tia dey sana. Obetimi akwa so ma ba cho da bi. Let us say omo kona ni. Nkwame dampani me biu. Me biu hu na so.
What is that now? What's that? Even the quality of the video puts you off.
It puts you off. It puts you off. Oh, Eradi Yagopo.
It's a time in
there. And now, I'm so about the Chinese films we share area. I'm say 1 and 2 ho baby. See a call, see a kind of pan area. To say area time so they are. Oh, Masa, young school.
Oh my goodness. That say that Saturdays was a weekday 6 p.m. no more Captain Planet.
Na Oshin so.
Na ye wo TV o, but ye pe baby amanfo abodom pe mo mo hwe. Na ya nanti efi. Akota Chere Junction, akọ Waterworks. Obi them. Oh.
We could do afini bi say
what guy. Na afi papa bi gina ho. Ohwe wo na ase. Hey, awe ngware kan fiako. Oh.
Say enema.
Ohwe wo na ase, so na ase aye fi.
When I say if you who raise that?
Or postman or
Hey, on the TV any there.
oh sir.
Yeah, the TV. Sure. Send them ma. And then ma 50-50 the buy.
One day I'm saying now we say then TV ni will be with you. When me go obi.
And the 50-50 the buy. 50-50 o kwa. Oba sake o say oh, unjare ye na dem nti na ma bɔ ne ho plus.
Na akan drama. No mu be talking pointer. Yeah.
Man talking point no wa.
Hey!
Charlie that time just say you couldn't make sense of it.
Kofo na mo kasa no ba no. Omu be kasa. Oh,
now you were a friend saying, was it Saturday Saturday night movies? Saturday night movies. Ah, that day.
First now we are saying this.
Charlie we are saying the puta. We are saying.
But not first no mo embassy pleasure.
Embassy pleasure.
And our dancers be
goodness.
Oh, Charlie. What's the name? Poncho ne. Oh, Charlie. Those are the good old days.
I almost buy my church or lotto numbers.
There was a beautiful lady. What was her name? No, she hosted one of the shows for GTV. Very nice lady. I'm targeting her crowd.
Wow,
now could be so weekend workers rendezvous.
And some more concern there. Aye.
Yeah.
So I've been to all those events.
Charlie.
Event,
no, those were shows.
They were shows,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
They were live shows. Okay. Yeah, they were live shows.
What my job will go pan campaign for no more. Oh my goodness.
Well, those were the good old days. Ian was on the page. Now, Ian Fat Daily Graphic.
Said the end 55 on the open.
Now, yet, no. Yet, Nipa already in 70 in ano ayo. We can rendezvous one at the buy. One our boss. I first say, what was the other one he mentioned? On our bonding yas.
But your Fafa, who's here, dear?
I cannot hear you.
Fafa, dear, and say, you share some music, and tell me about pension.
Yeah, Josso, I'm with you.
Ghanaian Times are no PC.
When you answer, yes.
Na una oko.
You would your quay.
Sifa, I no pay me chia. Entebia, Sami be pension.
Oh, sir. Yeah, why?
Ghanaian Times and PC. At Kwame Nkrumah interchange, junkies, beggars failed takeover as city authorities seem helpless. Obeho picture of homeless persons are omoda Kwame Nkrumah circle interchange. Idea for to make sure my anyway. Let's rally youth for You Start program. Deputy Finance Minister to MMDCs and others. 500 lifeguards pass out to be deployed on Volta Lake and other water bodies. We near Sema, Mr. Kuku Isiama, Minister of Transport, Ediaba, and says, I mean, yeah, wage bill no 500 account.
Bobby, can I story?
500 lifeguards pass out to be deployed on Volta Lake and other water bodies. I know a story at Transport Ministry at Diaba.
Now, almost boats are women the patrol. And I was based on canoes. Oh, it's a legitimate question.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, because they won't train people if they didn't have the necessary.
What are you talking about?
No more training on my idea.
And then let me backtrack a little bit, because at the time Raymond Reasons are concerned, I defended that position. But it's Tiana Ebekache so Yabani motorway. Now each of the metropolitan areas, each of the municipal areas, was supposed to have its own point of collection for a rubbish, for a bigger truck to come and convey all of them. Where is it today?
Paper.
Where are we? Ask the minister.
Where are we with that plan? Where are we?
Paperwork. Dr. Opuni trial. Defense witness accused of manipulating document. Police arrest driver for killing 2 brothers, injuring 1 other. Farmer in court for impregnating 16-year-old daughter. Oh. Asem we see Doba in the Kasana Nankana municipality. Kasina Nankana municipality in the Upper East region. So, Papa no. Okoye Pamparupa was a 16-year-old daughter. So, now, to me, this media houses should syndicate to become commercially viable. Information Minister. 100 killed in clashes among Chad artisanal gold miners. Election runoff for Colombia's ex-rebel. Na nina ensema ewo paper nom anope. Community Center for Aged inaugurated at Winneba. Never think your children are a bother to you. Cameron Dodo and Odessa letter from a faraway Abba. Broccoli. Food of choice for lowering blood sugar and fighting cancer. Part 2. I'm on broccoli.
I'm up for the trashes.
What's it?
I'm up for the trashes. Second idea. Yes, you neem tree near trashes. Yes, you back with say. Oh, near trashes.
Samuel say cranberry.
Oh, broccoli.
Yeah.
Well, I mean it's known.
Yeah.
For today now, you can't say
expensive.
Oh
yeah.
Sammy, for today now you can't say cranberry. A boama hype. You see a cranberry price across row. Oh yes, it's an across row. 100% increment.
Wow.
5 Lebanese companies honored for contributions to Ghana's economy. Kwame Bafu retained as BR NPP chairman. Yaka BR there and as Bono regional chairman, Mr. Kwame Bafu. Steady constitution to deepen democratic governance. NCC and Omodisa Assembly Aba. Pastors urge to champion moral standards. Expert cautions against unhealthy lifestyle. We sama medical doctor, your friend Dr. Nati, or also there to Ebuakwa North MP donates to 40 artisans. Na we so a story I will have Mrs. Gifty Chum Ampofu or donate equipment no. Say welding machine for and Plan Ghana distributes sanitary pads to girls in Okre district. 40 agric experts discuss Ghana's food security in Koforidua. Na some experts are kushana wahano.
I say Friday na meko.
Pando Aziave Gets Health Center. Nina Yensama Waha Momopache said 250,000 facility and Isia Ebeboa Pomoa Omwok Pando for. Now project was funded by Qatar Charity Foundation, a leading Gulf origin NGO. So Rotary Club of Accra Osu refurbishes police hospital maternity block. Na final story I'm the beba no pay say environmental health stakeholders urge to sensitize residents to proper sanitation practices. When you know a stories and pay the Ghanaian Times yeah but I mean a social be so police hospital say aband there abano refurbishment no Rotary Club no mabe what you say Pando Asiave gets health center. So I mean, we can Qatar Charity Foundation and a disagreement whereby. Let's say question about Bisanda say. Sasika winina abina nka obeya receive. Oh no, you see, no.
There be na aban wa catch us why na gin so koye.
No, but you see,
yes.
It's not like it's in their budget, so now you didn't use it.
No, but okay, fine. You don't first say any on my budget more. But why nanka? I say any responsibility say.
Oh, it's even a buyer's responsibility to keep me happy in this life. That is why a country has a whole minister of happiness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Until we no stories and no pay at the other.
Well, Daily Guide. Mahama's advisor scores. Mahama's advisor scores 0 in PDP primaries. Omo the picture of Chief Dele Mahmood.
Oko contested.
It's not so bad. Professor president for Nigeria.
Interesting.
Oko contested.
With the magazine now, yeah, and
yeah.
How they contested.
And a fear delegates actually.
Yes, you know what you think say you're a master planner?
No, it's not even it's not necessarily about that too. What was it? For now, meaning how Nigerians do their politics, but that's all quite independent. What's my say? It is the internal way, party no man to a man. I don't just say Nigeria form person be president.
Atiku Abubakar unity also chief daily. No, but I mean there's share the stature of Atiku Abubakar. Now far we are said there's no way he would have.
A whole advisor. Many nanga bube from Mako independent.
No, so Mako independent. I think the last election was independent.
Strategist.
Yeah.
Or I'm not also a chief strategist.
When you are strategist,
now they don't vote with him. Among us, you don't vote, right? On so on your delegate.
They want to vote.
I said on your 0. Until be a.
It was Eskina.
General Eskin.
Okoto ama. The bush up for grab.
Maraman to mami. But I know I'll be sending a message. Say now you show no feel you. Say we are presidential material.
Oh, you me have 2 votes, bro.
No. I said,
Masa. We have 2 votes, bro.
No, Fati.
2 votes. The baku fi kwabi JJ ba me no ho. Na break so am baku asa.
Break is here me nature.
Two patches senior and 2 man.
If you are, and one man can better me if you have one.
If you have,
because who say no, obey me campaign manager, and Tibaum is better.
I don't care about the greatest shock of your life.
We go contest looks rep. The campaign manager told me.
Green Ghana Day, 10 days more. Kennedy Japan appears before Privileges Committee today. Indom's USGN Bank in hot water. Opuni third witness accused of deceit. Oko paper nimwa other stories are Ubenya Akai essay. All lives matter and no air editorial a womb. Lady Julia educates women on menstruation. Plane wreckage found in Nepal mountains, 21 bodies recovered. Nancy Pelosi's husband arrested for drink driving. Secular whale found dead in France. Clashes between Chad gold miners leave 100 dead. French journalists killed in Ukraine. Kidnapper sees head of Nigeria's Methodist Church. You know, ewo honum. So, and other stories are Ubenya say, robbers raid mining site, kill 2. And also a story, other stories that Ubi Pipan more Ubenya say, I'm happy Ghana was showcased at Cannes Festival. U.S. actor Ray Liotta dies at 67. Faith bookworm reading show ends in style. So and a construction industry growth to slow. Fetch and a Eka. NAPCO trainees threaten demo over unpaid allowances. Way a year daily guide newspaper.
Yentwaso for Daily Graphic and Twaso Womo at the Mr. Lawrence in Dago. Ayagiba Infonia to a Deputy Auditor General in charge of Performance and Special Audit Department. Now, was a flood control drain projects stall. 117.7 million spent on 12 kilometer and no honum. Don't use oil revenue to pay judgment debt. Piak and Kasa Commander Sugar Factory to refine raw sugar. Arrangements concluded for molasses import. And also honum. And I thought some time back, His Excellency the President said that the factory was going to spring back to life.
At that time, no, say 3 months then.
3 months in Australia. Local industry no yeko pe molasses yeko import yaba.
Aye. But many duty free or port.
One of friends will tell us imports na air driver. Inflation.
Yentwaso, Nigeria's Methodist leader kidnapped.
This is a very important, serious story. What must I say?
How so?
For me, since Nigeria kidnappings need those things, I mean, say, omo ako kidnapping.
Big man.
Clergy.
That. What must I say? So it tells you where their thinking is going. You see, and it's like one kasa. Yes.
If you don't speak,
that as the things are going on, one should dance. Yes.
They're coming for all of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, and
so Nigeria, a whole Methodist church.
Yeah.
The establishment.
Yeah.
No more pick the header.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I hope that discussion we had discussion ma. Hope for Ghana lawyers, Ghana Bar Association, release on the bar now. I would want us to go into that matter because a similar matter. When Ghana for you shoot or more highway, so then name robbery or money no statement.
No, now they send text messages.
Oh, sir.
Yeah, they send text messages.
To who?
I said Professor Martis is here now.
No, so I mean, you see,
the bashing near that,
you see,
now
but
he's resorted to another.
But yesterday they had written a statement calling for police to start. I mean, look. But
you see, it's like saying, say, motorway.
No,
my minister be
exactly.
My minister be encounter accident. No,
suddenly,
life. The next day, no, they go and fix the motorway.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, some lives are important than others.
Some young combra.
You see, and that's the point I was making 2 weeks ago. That it is because they know that when it becomes critical for their life, their health, and it's at stake, they know they can fly out to the country for medical assistance in another man's country. Somebody has built his medical facilities. They can go there and get the care.
They trust the system.
They trust the system there. But here, they won't build yours for you.
No.
They won't equip yours for you. Okoka obisi metikwa pai. Yento asuna indi enkomo anopai. Eurovision trophy sold to buy drones for Ukraine. And Nancy Pelosi's husband arrested for drink driving. And Ukraine Eurovision winners with trophy no picture on Maomaton Monekoto drones. Yeah. Here. Land Minister inaugurates first women in Timber Association. And also don't use
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now what?
Yeah.
This I mean Ukraine on the cracker and say
The Kakran said, somebody I feel more to the West has not been able to provide for them as they would have expected.
No, some only say Ukraine and Selk Room,
yes.
Very beautiful country.
Destroyed.
Very beautiful country.
But you see, immediately after all this, Vladimir Putin must be prosecuted for war crimes.
No, some more questions.
For how long?
I don't know.
Another country, I can buy now Marcos will lead another.
Oh, yes.
Now, so I'm going to move around the group.
Yes. 5,012 people die from tobacco-related illnesses annually. That's according to a research. Africa Teachers Confab underway in Accra. Rise Festival launched in Northern Region. Three stories are underpaid. Daily Graphic Diagram.
Chronicle Anope say Central Region NPP elections. Esibu tipped to win. NPP election blues. Chairman Blay Boedu boxed in. Party chatterboxes want some of the elections annulled. 500 voter league guards pass out. Opuni trial, prosecution witness accuses witness of deceit. Kojo upon Nkrumah to media houses. Form consortiums to make you commercially viable. Sammy, we new message. Kojo upon Nkrumah, the Asuma Chronicle, so from prayer and pay.
The new crusading guide. Baumia calls for unity in NPP. Agric minister engages Nigeria for cocoa farmers. East Legon Mempasam residents raise alarm over illegal grabbing of their land. Rally the youth for Youth Start, Deputy Finance Minister. 500 lifeguards pass out to save lives on the Volta Lake. And no ewo honum. So na other stories I say. Ukraine war student turned soldier. Friends die in our arms. 9-year-old describes escaping out of a window during the school shooting as anger mounts over law enforcement response. ECOWAS brown card. Dr. Justice Ofori calls for speedy settlement of claims under insurance scheme. ETI proposes $40 million dividend to shareholders. Oil prices climb to over 2 months high. Nigeria biker rise from London to Lagos against polio. DRC citizens in Goma welcome government sanctions against Rwanda. 2 more bodies recovered in Burkina Faso's flooded mine. Sudan lifts state of emergency. Saso Ena Abronya DC retains MPP Bono regional chair position. Christmas in May play address child trafficking, providing solutions to problems confronting Ghanaian CTEC to government. Provide Sasana 50 million released to NHIS. In this kind of consider public interest in tariff review. Chief of Staff to PURC. Wait, your stories Albania. A new crusading guide.
You know, I was listening to an interview yesterday. Honorable Ndompe was giving one of our sister networks. No more be said about the concern speaker had raised about Sika Womuhi Ombera and the parliamentary by and he kept saying that the money has been released. And the interviewer asked him, when was it released? I never done answer. You know, also you release Sikano. But as to say Sikana hit the account, no. Another matter.
Now the one
so you can release the money.
It will hit the account.
At the finance ministry or the accountant general or whatever. But as to say physically, I hate to account.
Alert number one.
And it's another matter. Indeed. Yemfa finder and Twaso finder. I said, rally youth behind you start. Dr. John Kuma appeals to all state institutions. Hands off Achimota Forest, One Ghana movement tells government. 50% of crashes caused by fatigue driving due to lack of rest stops. Media houses should syndicate to become commercially viable. Kojo Nkrumah and MTN declares 2 billion Ghana cedis profit after tax, pays 70.6% dividends. We end the stories up and I pay the finder at the upper.
So drivers, you know, I think I would agree with that publication. So I'm going to say, what Brenner will you come? Who was there in the chair? I said, well, feeling here different too.
Yeah.
And you can easily run the car anywhere. And
it's true.
And
you're right.
Economy Times and say fiscal deficit worsens by 0.3% of GDP. Domestic debts hit 38% of projected GDP. BOG misdiagnosing the inflation problem. Professor John Gachi. So I mean, say same way na me catch me say. So 200 basis points now. Yeah, they back on once. Say interest. Your friend is saying monetary policy rate I call 19%. You know, no problem. And now Professor can. What's it? And economists at the University of Cape Coast has taken a swipe at BOG for their decision to increase policy rate by 200%. The economists opined that the central bank may be misdiagnosing the problem. He said the increase in the BOG policy rate is in response to risk to the economy, high inflation, weaker financial intermediation, and fiscal stress, which is expected to trigger lending rate hike. As a the reasons and kasan. But Professor Kasan, I mean, by this time, you better say, when the stories are
by this time, people must be encouraged to trade more.
Yeah.
To buy more. The more goods are in the system, the lower their prices become.
No, so I mean, the goods no system no more. But I see the problem is Sikana mo de goods ne ba no. Ni nyina akosoro. Ultimately, just like yesterday we were discussing, if I used to import sugar and flour at a certain price, I'm bringing the same quantity in, but this time I bedroom no. You see benchmark value, you see way. So I'm paying high in terms of taxes. When I bring that same 200 bags of sugar and rice or flour to my shop, so I have to increase the price to be able to cover for some of these things.
That's true.
It is not as if goods need the goods are there.
The instability in the, your friend is saying, the
currency.
Pricing, whatever, no. You are forced to want to, project what could happen in your next or to your next consignment, you know. And also no what they
factor it in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that is the challenge. Okay, yeah, and stable winning. So at least by 6 months and by 1 year be, you know.
The dollar to CD will be stable.
Exactly.
Until any problem.
So I'm crumbs is here. The goods are there. We can buy because in this car. Yeah. You need spending power.
Condensed milk.
So how?
Now me turn 15 cedis.
No, what do you do?
15 cedis. And me ice cream with you. Me to me bread with you. Me toffee with you.
Ana ordinary now.
No, some call out with you to you know, yes.
So they all children so.
Yes, I do my own things. Now 15 cedis. Me toy the following week me call now I could do 17 cedis. And 20 cedis. 20 cedis.
You see?
5 cedis jump.
Let me tell you something. Oh, say milk. What talk milk? Small things, no.
Yeah.
Senses here.
Very 6.
To be a chair.
Who go for fear? Who to milk back one that day? More about 3 cracks. So the trick I use is I buy condensed milk.
No, I won't use you.
Me one is your pop. Minti me share ne si fridge mo. You take 1 scoop. Now they are minto sugar beam. Now say minto sugar. Milk and
killing
sugar.
2 birds with one stone. Tactical movement.
Yes. And a bois me pan.
Then I have to.
Because me share say me to 10 no.
Yeah.
Wait me out to bear 5 a week. Me to condensed milk na 1 month. 1 scoop. Because we take 2 scoops of sugar need to.
And then we know if you soon and
first no.
Feel better, papa.
First no, na milk no
grab me to. Oh, because your cotton pan the face I say.
Oh, condensed milk. First na me to milk na me shie go. Ice cube tray mo. Na me dey chef freezer. I know so we back. No what's the sugar go but me who say sugar no.
I don't say idea.
Yes, na say na me 1-1.
Yeah. Offer another
1-1.
That's what I was saying.
Yes. But me who say condensed milk saves me sugar, you know. Na me dey call no.
Na unya supplies no ever.
Machem
condensed milk no supply no ever.
Me na me area where da be who na me chia me nya bipo. 20 cedis and na me hu shop bi o na ko bi so condensed milk so 17 cedis. Me sin ko fe ya moment say dey aba. Nti na me kita skare na me to 2. Me do fear na me frɛ obi na me say o. Won send me 100 Ghana. Me find idea. And why na me can go rush shop no na me cause me na me sign cause say me do fear because she expire date be expire October. Until they was say you AD connect.
Daybreak was about Mia Claire's regional polls. No MP's boy caged over 800K recruitment scam. New fire academy coming and stop discouraging the police. And editorial Daybreak at the ABBA.
Business and Financial Times. Corporate issuers step up insurance by 2.9 billion remains a viable option for investors. BOG piloting offline version of ECD. Governor Ena Ekasa Assembly, unsolicited solutions to public problems. Hasting electricity-based load switch to nuclear. Starsight Energy is Africa's fastest growing renewable energy company. 500 lifeguards graduate to save lives on Volta Lake. So, and a known number of challenges should stop after its implementation. Tanzania President Ena Ekasa Assembly. Other stories are Ubenye Biakai say we must not look outside when it comes to dredging. President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Ekasa Assembly. AGL celebrates World Menstrual Hygiene Day. We won't have an economy if we don't digitalize. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Ekanye. Responsible use of natural resources is essential to sustainable development. Saso and oil prices rally despite strong dollar. Why the West shouldn't expect more oil from Saudi Arabia? We stories are the Business and Financial Times anope.
Citynewsroom.com anope ukoremo ho stories are betime akan ebi enie. We are on top of security. Police reject GBA's concerns of increased crime. 2024 polls, Abronia DC vows to secure 55% of votes for NPP's next flag bearer. 17-year-old boy dies after being struck by lightning at Hobankwe. Ablakwa demands full report on Bulgarian embassy demolition. So I'm still reporting about it. Nancy Derry confirmed as NPP Upper West Regional Women's Organizer. NPP gives green light for appointment of other officers at regional committee level. Otuaso El House, Ashanti Region 3 died in fatal accident at Ejisu Bisiase. Ekopiemo Ojasika was a 21-year-old mother, elderly woman arrested for dumping baby in a pit. NPP National Chairman hopeful Stephen and team begins nationwide campaign tour. Consider public interest in tariff review. Chief of Staff to PURC, Simon Mbosubio. Consider public interest in tariff review. Chief of Staff to PURC. And Council of State must clarify role in dubious posts at presidency. Okujeto Ablakwa and Odessa Assembly apa. Now, Simon, what's the presidency in some also about staffers in Nema? I say one side and action in ABCO. We the stories at citynewsroom.com. They are banned up.
You can also quote your website www.happyghana.com. Stories no ebi any Mahama bemoans terrible road conditions in Ghana. Oh. Connecting, yeah.
And I was an of friend Bashonis.
As I read the story, no bill. Bosubio.
Yeah, Udu Mahama. Mahama bemoans terrible road conditions in Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah, Udu Mahama. Okay. Connecting the African continent to drive a unified voice this World MS Day. Our Honum MPP polls, I paid each delegate 1,000 Ghana cedis cash for votes, but still lost as I ready and Ekasa. Government gives women. Pay attention. Government gives over 400 acres of military other states' lands to Asante Hene. Government gives over 400 acres of land, other state lands to Asante Hene. Well, that's the story.
400 acres.
I meet me
I said, Asante Ludia owner of Asante.
The government has given more than 400 acres of state lands, including a section of the military barracks in Kumasi to Asante. The fourth estate has cited a directive to public institutions to that effect. It is signed by the Chief Director of the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council, Mrs. Emilia Ejobeng Botre, on behalf of the Regional Minister, Simon Osei Mensah. The letter cites the issuance of Executive Instrument A.
Yeah, about.
Yeah, about. Yeah, about.
So, I won't say, two for the criminal obey development.
I mean, twice why?
About mom, so my year development.
Woon to me will be first candidate for jail if you win NDC power. NDC for na Ekasa. NPP polls find out Ben Essing's wrong predictions and no Honum. Adjoa Safu will be in contempt if she fails to appear before Privileges Committee, Joyce and Ekasa. And NPP polls full list of newly elected regional executives and also the website.
They should know that Adjoa Safu will not respond to any third parties.
But Sammy Nyambotro.
Why?
Because she has not received any such
Invitation.
Because she is in the United States taking care of her family and her son, but she has not deserted the party. Yeah.
The party? So I mean, sir, you ranking member, because also about Zoom.
The thing is that, well,
and I Zoom,
so
she fails to appear on the Zoom.
Now, no, okay, so let me say something. Ebi omo hwehwe no no omo a7 ne say like omo hia no omo nya akonya na like she hasn't received any such invitation. So see a journalist after friend na omo ka say there is a supposed invitation no on one gasa so own to me and reach out to find out so
a lawyer
matisa mo hwehwe me
a lawyer enti onimumra no
okay
onimumra no
well
the fact say waka mfama mu nkyere say wasave no
na say we anya court asem
ene de
ono so parliament or
so far as we can say
parliament you show so you
it's
can
a contempt
also reach out
Debbie onye na just go reach out
well Google News
maybe
Google News Ghana Rice Festival 2022 launched. How Ben Efson wrongly predicted another election in Ghana. NAPCO threatens demo over unpaid allowances. Stakeholders to improve food and nutrition security in Ghana. Here are the cardinals from Ghana. Can Do Spirit, the story of Ghana National Gas Company. Saso and GFA Ethics Committee clears Ibrahim Sani Dara. We air stories how benya ewo Google News anope.
BBC.com anope stories ewaha ebi enie. EU clinches compromise deal on banning Russian oil. I watched from afar Russia's latest merciless assault. Canada proposes total freeze on handgun ownership. Australian PM Albanese secures majority government. UEFA commissions report into Champions League final. China sends 30 planes into Taiwan airspace defense zone. Colombia's TikTok king battles ex-rebel for top job. Casino operator fined over illegal China dealings. US to review response to Texas school shooting. And a sick killer whale found dead in France. We new stories and pay bbc.com. Over to me. Okay.
Stories Ebi Ebroman for EU agrees on partial ban of Russian oil. European Council chief says agreement covers more than 2/3 of Europe's imports from Russia and no Honum. Ukrainian military reports advances during counter-offensive in south and no Honum. And the sanctions would also remove Russia's biggest bank from SWIFT. And this is Mamam for everything can be a French journalist shot and killed in Ukraine. And also Honum bottling the sun. The world has never been this close to mastering nuclear fusion. And also, for a bit me, I can kind of math books outrage China with ugly, sexually suggestive pro-American images. And also, for a bit me, I can kind of why is it so risky to fly over Nepal? I know Honoma, and also for bit me, I can kind of China Trade and Security meeting in Fiji ends in disagreements. Johnny Depp gives surprise performance. Nina stories are anapay for bit me, I can kind of CNN.com.
Reuters News. Around 100 killed in clashes between Chad artisanal gold miners. Over 500 killed in Mali clashes as military junta loses grip. Archaeologists uncover trove of ancient Egyptian mummies. Pope's July visit to Africa to go ahead despite health issues. And no ewo honom saso and other stories are ubenya akan essay. African Union chair calls for dialogue over rising Congo-Rwanda tensions. Ukraine war hit Africa's most vulnerable as aid cost spikes. We air stories are ubenya ewo Reuters News.
Yabeto aso na Raymond ababo no na ode ono so ne die kakra ede abrɛn ana memfa weather no ento aso. Okay, my memfa weather no embre omanfo na anapay weather update ne senia esi etie any from Ghana Meteo for honum no yemfa ho ensem embre omanfo Ghana Meteo for se enkanche Ghana fo nyina ese anapay no it's raining over parts of the northern sector. Sunny intervals will be experienced as the day progresses. Thunderstorm or rain is expected over parts of southern Ghana in the afternoon. And Aflao, Accra, Kaswa, Cape Coast, Takwa, Day, Axim, Ho will experience a partly cloudy morning with lowest temperature around 25 degrees Celsius. Thunderstorms and rains are expected for some parts of these areas, and some may experience intermittent sunny moments as well, with temperature around 30 degrees Celsius. It will be cloudy in the evening with temperature around 27 degrees Celsius. Oshe, the northern belter, Yendi, Tamale, Bole, Dama, Gobo, Gatanga, Nalegu, Enewa. Thunderstorms and rains are expected for some parts, and cloudy moments are expected for some areas as well, with lowest temperature around 25 degrees Celsius. Area intermittent sunny moments are expected throughout these areas with temperature around 35 degrees Celsius. And it will be partly cloudy with temperature around 30 degrees Celsius. Into we and the weather updater, you bet me at the Abre Adofo Adope.
Young call Ghana Health Service 9 for COVID-19 updates no end to us. So active cases 44, confirmed cases 161,370, new cases 14, and deaths 1,445. Recoveries and discharge 159,881. Vaccination update. Total vaccine doses administered 15,206,334 as at 30th May 2022. If you want to na ebeko straight to social media na yakofa trends no atwaso. Hashtag MPP polls trendy. Now, one of the defeated aspirants of the new Patriotic Party chairmanship race, regional chairmanship race, and say in the Ashanti region, ehonum ena oheneba kofi edumbewa ejinaye na say oye promises bebre ema delegates, Now, according to him, okay, say he will make sure say each delegate ebenya free scholarship visa to the United States of America. Say you have to abano emano winia. As to what kind of scholarship visa or can I don't quite get it because delegates, Mama Yenti.
One delegate, one scholarship to America. One delegate, one scholarship to America. Meaning, say, wunu why old man out to me qua or ban I sell offer. Semi diffia me a new ewo. A kunyana so, Nami ma one delegate, one scholarship. Mumma pam me free office, no, Mumma pam me.
When as American embassy share more time more about bills as a one on my visa and I say na my visa. Comment about no ebi any. Ram say, if our leaders are now promising us America, it means they themselves know very well that they have destroyed Ghana. Al Hassan say, when we say Ghana is hell, some people will disagree. I hope now you hear it clear. Now they are promising us heaven. She's say, why promise us abroad if I really believe in our country? If not for anything, cry, at least we have freedom and peace. We have the sun. We have all the silver and gold. What will traveling abroad mean to us? Just modify what we already have and we are good to go. Derek said, that means Ghana has been messed up. Why scholarship to America when your government claims they've made Ghana better than America? Papa Kwesi says, so if all the delegates leave for America, who will help him run the party in the region? MJC Massa, leave my boss alone. He didn't say United States of America. He only said America, the one at Kwabre. Edu say, the politics of greed and deception has engulfed the heart of Ghana politics. This is shameful. If you want to know, now you call hashtag 1K. A year Ashanti Regional Chairmanship race yana. Aspirant today back Robert Asaribidiakon Ebeka say, on my delegates ni biara 1,000 Ghana cedis. Election day no. Otu ni bottom 1,000 Ghana cedis. Minim how many the delegates no were there. Pacho bet me Ashanti region delegates number na mami. So into oyi back obia one delegate 1,000. One delegate 1,000. And so fear delegates ABPM. Now the defeated aspirants explain that, but for the monetization before during the election, he would have won. One asa na woche 1,000. One asa so you are coming to complain about monetization. Obi on person monetizing no promise one visa, one delegate. And no. Sebe audio visa o wutoman wiya na be ho. Comment by no ebini. I will say a country where people engage in bribery and corruption and still talk about it freely and are promoted in the media. Edward said, both the payer and the recipient are the problem we have in this country. We voted based on who is able to pay and not who has the nation's interest at heart. Eric say, you paid 1K to them to do what for you? It's about time the Church of Pentecost and other sister churches sponsor their elite apostles and pastors to go to parliament and do away with greedy, selfish, immoral, corrupt, evil persons in political positions. We don't need a political party to get to parliament. Let the church rescue the nation. Push your man to go independent. Francisca say, shouldn't we be arresting such people for boldly confessing such actions? What about them accounting for the source of such monies? Anyway, in a country where accountability is the responsibility of the poor, I understand that this will not even concern anyone. Mercy, see, you are not ashamed to say this publicly. It serves you right. Hashtag fear delegates. Isa say, Office of Special Prosecutor, you have a missed call. If you want to my hashtag Kennedy Japan so air trendy, now a member of parliament for Asin Central, Kennedy Japan, or say, a yadia sa one former President John Dramani Mahama ekoshiemu ewo presidential elections 2024 now ono ejina on the ticket of the MPP. Now former President John Mahama so ejina for the NDC na obeyi nashi from say team. Now I say obeyi nashi from say obe defeat no. Now obenya ne worst defeat more than the 2016 one no. If oneno ekojina. Comment by Ebi Eni. James say, I don't think he can defeat Kwesi Indom. Ben say, nobody from MPP can defeat Mahama. Warren say, Chairman thinking about flag bearer, he go win hands down. The people love him, and in Ashanti, 99.3 vote is already reserved for him. Issa says, stop bragging. Ask Nana how he was marketed in 2020 general elections. Vera said, Massa, not this current state, unless Chichin come inside. Frank said, this is getting carried away. He thinks it's all about mouth. Francis said, he said he's coming to continue the legacy of President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo to break the 8. Ken say, fear us, oh, we have the power, not you guys. We any issues are na air trendy our social media. Inti aha ena yedi ABC. Yes.
And I say quickly no me fan to drama say the episode there no ho beto. Sami yako PM Ashanti region over the weekend no. 802 delegates and the Tuaba per the votes in Sakano. In social chairman want to mean 464 Kukanya 306 Robert Asabidi Akunya 20 na your friend is saying Kwabna Usu Eduemi enya 9 and now they know who Edum Bewa enya 3. What they find say sport ballots baby ma you find on chunche. But valid votes cast 802. If every delegate got 1,000 cities there, let's work with this 802. We are talking about some 802,000 Ghana cities. 802,000 Ghana cities. So the only 2,000 free, so I say 800,000 cities.
Wow. Almost a million cities.
Oh, and draw a million. So the January 800,000 Ghana cities.
And on that, also on the day of the election.
Yes, but what
into a carry cash on the day of the election. 800,000.
Oh, let's say 200,000 Ghana. 200 cities. 200 cities notaba. Into see no light. Mumu so ho. O just say bank account transaction. Say who combine but I mean, I'm told say on the day of the elections no. Who say bibi wo ho a friend no. Indemnity payments. Ebia nipa no we took every far ba. Oberman discuss on fanfaka. Oberman discuss on fanto aduane. Say 1 year provision for aduane.
Na nipa no onye ready to obey delegate obey ayede.
Oh no, you see, not every delegate has the financial wherewithal to be able to, embark on such trips. I am going to spend a long day into breakfast, lunch, supper there. I mean, they say to me do 2 months. It's 1,000 a day. Na upko bizana obeka cho say I was bia TNT and I say feeding what I say nti omo hu ne say yeah there or they bribe delegates because I'm sure almost every day every aspirant am delegate ni bibi in fulfillment of promise to help them with transportation and eduane. And as I stand to be correct, but I said that's the norm. That's the norm. It was our Congress. Unless delegate work, I say now the man they say bribe, because post election opinion because I want refund in the scam man. I think that is how it works. That is how it works, and I say that is what is supposed to be happening. Oh, there are two different issues. That is how it works. Say a co-election in Nema, but as to whether that is how the system should be run, there, so I mean, we all have our views on that one.
Almost 1 million internal party contest.
And here is called DTCO, not called the year in the campaign.
Almost 1 million. Almost 1 million. However, maybe a minister can be. And it's not a hand say almost 1 million. But to somebody, 1 million is like 1,000 Ghana cities.
Well.
The question is, how do they come by these monies? Especially when we see them in opposition. How? Where do they get the money from? Where? It is only in Ghana that we are not concerned or bothered about how people make their money. especially people we saw just a few years ago struggling, hustling, unable to fund campaigns. And then suddenly, their government comes into power and they have all the resources in the world to do any and everything. Well, the investigative bodies are there. Do they have the power to bite and bite deep? It's another matter. They may roar, they may back, but their report will receive a white paper. When that white paper is issued, that's the end of the matter. When their report is not made public, that's the end of the matter. And so, Fati, we can only sit down and hope and formulate new laws, new acts, pretending to want to fight corruption and not fighting corruption. Look, I've heard people say, oh, the new special prosecutor. The new special prosecutor is all over the place.
Doing what?
See, come on, more tembi and more issue. Low hanging fruit. Low hanging fruits.
Dead goods.
Yes. If the special prosecutor really wants us to see that he's working, the big boys are there.
Yes.
The big boys are there. If the special prosecutor really is minded to want to do work in this country, special prosecutor must jump into this Achimota Forest matter. Mm-hmm. There are issues. The wealth of people. How did they come by these?
Yeah.
We should be interested. We should be interested. At least here about from Flagstaff House, Jubilee House, as to staff as a war, the numbers and how much is sunk at the end of the day in paying these individuals. A lot of them are just on social media. Just on social media.
Monitoring.
And what are they doing? What they do does not inure to the benefit of Ghanaians. It inures to the benefit of a political party. And so we can't sit here and say they are working for Ghana. Their party must be willing and ready to pay them. But all you need is a title called staffer. And that's the end of the matter. At the end of their service, Omar Ghana, ebiti musika de amo. End of service benefits, Womubinya.
Yes.
And so, come on, I'll end it here. That's all I would say. Because, Okasa no abre. Sometimes, Charlie no abre. No abre. I mean, Raymond, should it take civil society organizations to prompt government say, by now, you should be thinking about halting this whole declassification of the Achimota Forest? Should it take, how do you call it, civil society groups to tell government? No. Government will come and tell us they are investigating. They will say there is a report out. We won't see the report. And it will end there. Especially at a time when some chieftains of Osu are saying, say, the old family Kwampono, Masa, only a suspect. You would think, say, now would be the point where the brakes will be applied.
Not an ominous suspect. Was MP Neil Antiambeka say,
yes.
Well, sir, Sammy, you know, if you pay attention to the Osu people now, I think they made reference to a certain ruling that was in 1930, if I'm not mistaken, when the colonial government no pese omoji asase no. Now, according to them, there were 15 claimants, and according to ruling omode no, now omucha compensation, and compensation was duly paid. So in one of them, kasa omo kasa ya no, omo say enye say omo hwe say government be return assassin na omo because technically no, colonial government etua omo osuni labadi for no etua omo enti enye ade a na omo hwehwe assassin no. But if aban in no nankasa ni wisdom e feel say a so reverse land no to the alludia owners ne dia and then nanka omo and they say assassin na omo, but they are not claiming it. And then they raise issues again, say, oh, family no, any family from Usu, and in Yama. You know, so I mean, a lot of issues have come up, but, you know, these are allegations. Hey, let's put it that way. Allegations.
And I pay you, remember, Tina. I am Betty mo. No, remember, Tina. I'm a hammer home when people know the right thing to do. Remember Tina and Mamma Kuma Miami ya when and Nimpo say transport roads and highways minister what it tema I will use motorway. Me I'm confessed about Copeno, my bet in a hand did.
So fast with V8.
Me I'm confessed about Copeno, my bet in a hammer yedi. Or no then you know fashion oh he hasn't seen the need so be who did near affects our road, you know. Ah, Fatty say how are you man?
That's his job.
Yes.
And
American say he necessarily does not have to do the day. He just has to fix the problem.
Sami, you ban ho. You ban ho. But Sami, won't say no pay now.
Flood control drain projects stall. I'm going to say 500 million, me boy. And no more issue so far, me boy.
400 and something.
Well, 500 million. And so see a catcher say. So far, I spent 117 points spent on 12 kilometers in terms of trying to control flood.
Sammy, and the assembly will have person Udi mami. Udi assembly mami.
And then we do be a
Sammy, you can't say that. When I would say, I would say, a boom Cassandra, one Cassa, a baby choso. In Sierra Sammy,
you be a man. Because Fatia, Humte. Sometimes you choke.
Yes.
Sometimes it's Fatty, you choke. It's me who say I'm not describing no.
Sammy Nyabo Tramami. And no.
Look, Raymond, at the end of the day, Raymond, at the end of the day, you have to call into the public sector. Na Fatty, we have a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom house. We have a comfortable car. Maybe it's a salon, maybe it's a 4x4. At the end of the month, you know, say, oh, we seek a bar, a retirement package, our home. Umesu kufi ultimate here. A woman ultimate to kwa manane eco holidays ever. But what else do you need?
Salvation.
No, what else do you need?
Every little change.
Oh, Raymond.
Like this.
What else do you need? But Kanani.
That is even you are talking about the elite of the elite lifestyle and why you know.
Yes, Fatty.
We are talking about quarter. Sammy, did I show you the Entabodaya AC baby a omo rente?
No.
Manchira on Tabodaya no. Manchira.
Sammy.
500.
Yes, Entabodaya she washroom.
Sammy.
Baby, are you doing?
Wow.
Look at this. Why should this if she dine a dining you?
Yeah, 500.
Then the Google I see. Why should this even be a place for Obi Okodem?
Munya botrema me. Na na me the case aba. Person mo solve the case mama.
Why na be solve the case?
Madam Ase. And now, Sammy, unfortunate story people from Bolly Bamboy.
Yeah.
Robbers kill lawyer on Bolly Bamboy Highway. A lawyer on Saturday was attacked and shot dead by armed robbers on the Bolly Bamboy Highway in the Savannah region. The deceased, identified as Accra-based lawyer Richard Badombi, Esquire. In a statement dated May 28, the Ghana Police Service revealed that the victim was driving a Hyundai Accent saloon car with 2 other passengers on board, traveling from Accra to Jirapa when the incident occurred. When they got to a section of the Banda Nkwanta and Nyuri communities, 3 armed men emerged from the bush and signaled them to stop. While slowing down, one of the robbers shot and killed the driver. parts of the statement read. The police noted that they have mounted a manhunt for the 3 suspected armed robbers. Community members within the Banda, Nkwanta and Nyuri have been alerted to assist the police with relevant information that could lead to the arrest of the suspects. Police say will do whatever it takes to get these miscreants arrested and brought to justice, the police said. So I mean, as we see here now, who say, oh, I don't know highway robbery see. Gusua kosu a robbery or say killing or a contract ye nim. Sami, na Ghana Bar Association this statement kakrakabe PM. Na statement ne say Ghana Bar Association statement on rampant armed robbery and other violent crimes in the country. Sami tiye de ni you. Ghana Bar Association statement on the rampant armed robbery and other violent crimes in the country. The Ghana Bar Association has noted with grave concern the upsurge in armed robbery and other violent crimes in the country. The most recent of these violent attacks occurred on Saturday, 28th day of May 2022, when the occupants of a Hyundai Accent saloon car with registration number GN 989017 were attacked between Banda, Nkwanta and Nyiri, which resulted in the untimely death of Richard Badombi, a lawyer and a member of the GBA. The GBA would wish to commiserate with the families and colleagues of Richard Badombi and the families of persons who have lost their lives as a result of armed robberies and violent crimes. The GBA, with particular reference to the incident on Saturday, 28 May 2022, involving our departed colleague Richard Badombi, humbly and respectfully implored the relevant security agencies to carry out swift and thorough investigations of the incident in order to identify the perpetrators of this heinous crime and make them face the full rigors of the law. The GBA also urges the general public to volunteer information to security agencies to enable them thoroughly investigate the matter with a view of identifying the perpetrators of the crime and making them suffer the consequences of their action. The GBA stands ready and prepared to give a reward of 20,000 Ghana cedis to anyone who volunteers credible information and legitimate information that will lead to the arrest and prosecution of the perpetrators of the crime. The GBA would like to assure its members that the association will do everything within its power to ensure the arrest and prosecution of the perpetrators of this abominable crime. The GBA implores security agencies to intensify activities and programs aimed at drastically reducing the crime rate in the country, especially armed robbery and other violent crimes. The GBA also entreats the security agencies to enhance education of the general public on crime prevention and detection with the view of awakening the security consciousness of the citizenry. The GBA further urges the security agencies to intensify the protection of all persons living within the territorial borders of the Republic of Ghana so that they can feel safe and go about their daily activities and businesses in peace without the slightest sense of insecurity. I mean, final paragraph na strike me pa. Or say, the GBA further urges the security agencies to intensify the protection of all persons living within the territorial borders of the Republic of Ghana so that they can feel safe and go about their daily activities and businesses in peace without the slightest sense of insecurity. So I mean, and I'm release a report with. So I mean, the entire Mikaya deal with my own.
For the record, Okama.
Okay, is that okay? Mikama.
Okama.
There were Mikama. So I mean, the reason why Mikaya document we in this home. So I mean, we have been in this country. Heinous crimes have been committed. Abominable crimes, in the language of the GBA, have been committed. Ordinary Ghanaian citizens, a beer or a welder, tomato seller, highway robberies are bad, gunfire are bam, or we've lost their lives. We've been in this country. Boku, Sami, lives have been lost.
The military assault in Wa.
Thank you, Sami. MP, the late Hayford, yes, Fantiman, he lost his life. Similar fashion. Sami. Crimes is see Ghana Bar Association. Emphas statement beyond buyer. And can't say, oh, we are urging the, you see, not even to talk about what even happened though, to even tell us, say, so last paragraph, no, we are urging the security service to intensify protection of the citizenry. So I mean, we never saw any of those statements. But Akoya Omo they are ready to even put 20,000 Ghana cedis. But I mean, mind you, in all of these cases, some of the suspects have been arrested. No? We've had lawyers. Now go and defend them. Oh no, you don't find no tune. In most of these cases, we've had lawyers. Now go and defend them. And you can say a right of Nipa na arrest, no problem. But I mean, after you have sat down and watched all these things happen without releasing a single statement, Abeka wankasa Nipa. Now you have written letter, you have written documents telling the police you're Mukoyo Mojuma. So I mean, you see, when it was happening, you sat down unconcerned. Unconcerned, as if say, oh, you're normal. She said, I bet you are Nipa. Now you find it right, say, you release a statement charging the police to go and look for the people and bring them for prosecution. So I mean, you see, the system doesn't work like this. So I mean, we are all involved, you know. This is it. So when that tomato seller lost her life on the highway, Sammy, the life no, was equally as important as lawyer will losing a life. And because only professional I did title abon, accountant, lawyer, MP, minister, young fan born hunting. See, Sammy, every life I be lose or coin so through armed robbery in India, man. It matters. Every life matter. Life be a matter. Yeah. It is, I mean, you see, let us not sit down and watch for things to happen before we say because we're there fine hunting, we want to take action or we want the police to double our more efforts. No. There should be a wake-up call for all of us. A wake-up call, Emma Ghana Bar Association, for everybody. It shouldn't be because Omonipa came in, now they have found the mouth to talk. No.
You know, Raymond, it is not just even about the ordinary Ghanaian. But no matter what you are accused of doing, you have a right.
Oh, yes.
And those fundamental rights at all times must be protected. Look, and it hurts me that as media folks, we have not championed that issue and left it to go under the water or under the bridge. Remember, okay, a man tibia, bullion van, and Sensemi police will catch and said they were from within.
Yeah.
And that they had captured some of them are normally suspects. They were helping them with investigations. We woke up one morning and we heard say those guys had died. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And what was the scenario created for us? We were told there was a shootout. And these suspects who were supposed to help the police with the investigation were at the forefront of the gunfire and they died.
Yes.
They were suspects. Until they were proven guilty by a competent court, they were suspects.
Yeah.
But did you hear anything? Have you heard anybody talking about those lives?
No.
Nobody is talking about it.
No.
But you and I, when we listened to the account given by the Ghana Police Service, we found something had not sat well. But shh, you have zipped that. Because there are more important issues to discuss. Flooding has come, this has come, that has come.
Everybody is quiet.
Everybody is quiet. This Nkuranza case.
Yeah. Yes.
This Nkuranza case. Look at the accounts we have heard. Look at what the member of parliament has said. Look at what the mother has said. It all points to one thing. Somebody had done something fishy. Look, there's an account that suggests the guy has seen what he was not supposed to see. The guy had witnessed what he was not supposed to witness. And so he had to go. Have you heard the account that they said he witnessed some officers engaged in something untoward, and that based upon that, he had to go.
They tracked him down.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And yet,
no statement.
We have all become quiet about it. Look, the case of the 3 Takoradi girls, you remember?
Yes.
Around that time when the guy was arrested and sent to the, how do they call it? Remand or the back. There's a term for it.
Santa back.
And then remand.
I know, okay.
Kwani escape, you know. Did anything come out of it as to the officers who were in charge? And no. All we have heard ne transfers. Okay, Galamsey fight here. Police phobia, and soldier phobia. What happened to that matter? Caleb case. You catch it, so you transfer. Events like Canada, yeah. Back to the military. Maybe I know war. No, yeah, as I never secondment, you know. And that investigations were going to go on. What did we see? A promotion. What happened to the national security operatives? Didn't Mr. Zugu's name pop up? Mm-hmm. What happened?
Mm-hmm. In all of this, we've been quiet.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine that the president of the nation easily could identify a group of people who were flouting the laws of Ghana and looked them straight in the eyes and told them, you people don't pay your taxes, I know. And to date, we have not heard the revenue generation agencies deciding to take the lawyers on. You remember when he was addressing the lawyers? Mm-hmm. And he told them that they don't pay taxes? Yeah. What happened to that? Yeah. Look, today I'll say this. I know some makers are mono, I am on pen or creno. But whether you like it or not, some people are above the law. Whether you like it or not, in this country we are in, there is a strata. There's a strata. There is some stratification that is going on. Pecking order no. Minumi ni yeshasiye a man for na isi e konso. Emrano edien ne di mpanyimfo bi a how will be treated will be different. And how can it be say all that somebody requires and he say obekuta gota. All that somebody requires and he say or they stick a on the car and him say presidential staffer, office of the president, and that's it. He's driving around town. All that an army officer requires and he say or the army a check. And they be saying the driving mirror no, or they be saying move, and that's what the uniform, everything, and that's all he requires, and he's running around town. No insurance, no DVLA, no nothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I mean, and I make us say, you see, assembly there is unfortunate. You see, but I mean, from today, maybe a BCBiano, Ghana Bar Association, MPs, ministers, Obianfana Nutum, Neonkoyenim. If this is, you see, you see, they should call for,
to solve our problems for us, to join us in lamenting.
No, we are saying that they should call for expedited action, or they should make sure, I mean, whatever has to be done for the citizenry to feel safe, I will handle do it. So I mean, say, Ashanti Gold, don't be football, Accra. Omuko back. Do attack by Robert. Similar fashion. Ama, and yes, now bulletproof way nanga. Some people would have taken bullets. Sammy, we didn't see any statement from anybody. Everybody kept quiet. Let us not wait for things to happen around us and a concern here. And Sana would now be in a hurry to do what we are supposed to do.
Well, Raymond, on the back of Ashanti Gold, the better than honor this person I've been for. Yaba near Twaso na Edian Kumbo Anapai. And welcome back to the Happy Morning Show. Ebra said this sports update in Ebra Manfo, but quickly a cow man for say EDC for say and can't say financial independence is possible. And for us can in Chawanum for be a sea na here Ebre Ekoba Odonsa Abumu Nadibi Asho and it will ma and other for EDC for say Momodia Sobako website www.ecobank/swam now or starting now complete investment application from now that's it one more ever church choir we can war at the amount. Don't just go and look for outrageous profits many are only baba na a scam. Work with EDC, they are part of the EcoBank family worldwide. They are known. Your money is safe and secure. Ramon, and I play sports then so.
Well, Sammy, and now CAF Champions League finals so why that Athletic Club of Casablanca or to me a chief Al Ahly so big news so Black Stars on Wednesday against Madagascar. Players need to be Drew Chroma who training from Cape Coast na who say enthusiasm no level no was through year pa e dey hu sem nyina be breath for Hearts of Folk sisi ani dey omo abo akomase asante kotoko say Just 1 point and omo here. Senebeya on be clinch this season's Ghana Premier League title. Nina A and Sema Medwebret for more tennis so dear. Novak Djokovic and Rafa Nadal and French Open quarterfinals no. As our two players we on be share na omusia kan mu etimpa nti we and Sem kakra Medwebret for our Happy Morning Show sports updates no so.
All right.
Happy 98.9 FM and our Sugusa UTA O share so dear ETV Ghana and our O share and page media no the Happy Morning Show. I'm also saying Happy Morning Show sports updates ebe bremo na mamenka o say 1xbet and the time it here me the sports updates in April 1xbet say come website so 1xbet.com.gh 1xbet.com.gh register be a new account to register now be a new account obama opportunity to enter promo code that say enter a bet gh and a betgh or register now o enter sa promo code new year obama 200% bonus on your first deposit way. And good news, 1xbet in Fambro. Now 1xbet say, thousands of prediction markets are able to me echusu from. Who we know so abema sika pudo ope odds akakakaswa. Or no 1xbet and the money possible say on sabe kasa odds no. 1xbet undi 18 na. Memfa weni enter on website to go chabet betting. True into bet wa hwe yemu. We any messenger 1xbet in Fambro. Ya be sha see there na be sha see. From the camp of Hearts of Folk, match day 31 of the Ghana Premier League, to me, Ekoso and Accra Sports Stadium. Hearts of Folk and Karila United, about 1-1 draw. I can see to me Ekoso and Ramo, Oshas and Anyama Ekonidia. Now Hearts of Folk take lead in the first half and second half. No Karila United to me take 1-1, and I can see to me a bye here. Phobians, by virtue of the fact, so to me a board draw leaves them in fourth spot our Ghana Premier League table no so 48 points and more na Oshas and Anyama Ekonidia with 4 games to the end of the season for Kumasi Asante Kotoko no they need just 1 point to be crowned champions of the 2021-2022 Ghana Premier League season. It's way and then summer a free a hoswa eba na meanwhile no Hearts of Folk or more standing matcher na say omone 11-1 the to me ebono Ghana Football Association to me Arisha Del Ama 8th June 2022. And as a game no bet to me akoso na mobekaya the game was postponed because na advice about from Public Health Department of the Ghana Health Service say Hearts of Folk camp no na swine flu to me area no say omo to me eto omo matches no eshada we ene prompte Ghana Football Association say omo postpone Hearts of Folk matches no sisi ani there 8th June and a Hearts any 11-1 this bet to me Asia na omo sia kan yenremo ewo AFCON 2023 qualifiers mo na yakopiemu ewo Cape Coast na Ghana Black Stars players no omo nyina bebre na apedura che say training no eguso a ekoso ya kase die some 28 players na abedru camp out of 33 coach no etonsa afre omo na ohwe enra training na omo ye ne dia na omo ye shake up kakra omo ye drills kakra omo kopiemu ewo gym so a obo se niam ekuye ama Black Stars no ho ohwe ahokeka players no echa ohwe kofichire ohwe players bi ti say Andre Dede Ayu ohwe Jordan Ayu a omo nyina omo ginemu dendenden omo pese omo koma Ghana 1st June Wednesday no and first match and Madagascar Beshia na isia kan and press conference because of Cape Coast Sports Stadium at 5 p.m. Now after that no training session across ama Black Stars no na team Madagascar so no omo press conference at 6 p.m. na almost omo training na so at around 7:30 p.m. into we and same kakra a free horse eba Yeremu ewo other matters efa Black Stars so Abranti a friend Tariq Lamptey LC akan Emma Brighton and Hove Albion Abranti no na enchebia na England under 21 omo friend say ombra na ombesi akan ewo under 21 Euro qualifiers a koso Abranti no say omo man America kra na on take decision say obesi akan Emma England na on si akan report HS Abranti no ene papa omo abepiemu ewo krom ha na report HS say they would meet with the handlers of the senior national team the Black Stars of Ghana and the FA to confirm to them say Abranti no we take decision say obebo amagana we any reports are ever na Abranti no report so HSA obeko akopiemu e Cape Coast on Wednesday to watch the Black Stars play against Madagascar on Wednesday. Tariq Lamptey Abranti we see akan Emma England under 18 under 19 under 20 and under 21 or eligible to play for the senior national team the Black Stars of Ghana into no obia ehwe nim say Abranti no obetumi completing the nationality switch in beya obetumi abeginem amaye e right back position Emma senior national team the Black Stars of Ghana. And now Yakupiemu ewo Stade Mohammed Stadium ewo Casablanca ho and our finals of this year's CAF Champions League no to me so Wydad Athletic Club Wydad Athletic Club of Casablanca omo and omo to me eji crew ano na El Mutaraji Zehwe ono and to me share 2 goals ewa Kensi Enuma Emma Wydad Emma omo to me eji crew ano na Oshe Alalia na omo pese omo ji trophy no for the 3rd consecutive time na enano omo to me amfakoto anyenkwan nti Wydad Casablanca and a new African Club Cup champions omekwa ko represent Africa World Club Championship ebekoso in the next year honum we and some kakra if we a 3rd trophy omochimi agia 1992 2017 and 2022 and asisiano omochimi win CAF Champions League no we and some kakra if we hoso eba yanko piemu England na yanko piemu hodia Chelsea and omochimi confirm say take over no and a sale of the club no aye complete ankasa na Todd Boehly Consortium no aye American investor or private equity firm aye friend Clearly Capital no they've completed the takeover of Chelsea Football Club we and in summer eba na the club was put on sale by Roman Abramovich after say he was sanctioned because of the links to Russian President Vladimir Putin. Now, Osha and Nyama Ekonedia, Chelsea had been operating under a special license at government. Now, license no, and 31st May, and to me I expire. Now, and Todd Boehly to me confirm said they are honored say. Nyama etume akoso say na mo expecting na mo say Jumedia down when man say they'll make sure say they make their fans proud. Almost say we are all in 100% every minute of every match. Our vision as owners is clear. We want to make the fans proud. We any message are Todd Boehly and in the consortium no omo to me at the buyer. Now consortium no they fought off serious rivals to become the new owners. Now Osha bids a kopiemo dia. Na 11 rivals and a kopiemo chairman who to me now no so ejinemu dendenden na 250 enquiries in na no na chairman who to me ono so kopiemo bia they say ano Todd Boehly Consortium and a Chelsea eyo omo dia na Osha Todd Boehly dia ono ankasa oye one of the top football administrators and I say football owners ewo crew ewo wiase nyina na oye part owner Emma 7-time baseball World Series champions LA Dodgers na Osha US women's basketball team my friend Los Angeles Sparks opinion way nedia na Osha NBA franchise friend Los Angeles Lakers so dia opinion way ekita big stake ma ne co-partners bako your friend Bruce Springsteen and also Ojinemu Dindindia or only sports betting firm and a chain of restaurants. Na bakoso your friend Mark Walter and also a co-owner Emma Los Angeles Dodgers and Swiss billionaire friend Hans-Jörg Weiss. Omo and Asisiano on bet take you over Chelsea on bet share names and Yama Bekoye Amabobo Kodo. Sisiani dear Oma and de Roman Abramovich the 19-year ownership of the club. UEFA Champions League hunsen sem kakra na mede for na ekopiemu UEFA sensem dia yekopiemu Champions League finals koso Stade de France na nuamo hunsem koso outside the stadium Obrana fans any ticket holders be no na omogina long queues mo na police no had to use tear gas and pepper spray to disperse the crowd we Emma match no shall 37 minutes later than kick-off time no we ama UEFA say ani dia omo pese omo constitute independent bodies and obey investigations into their course now or the report aba abema UEFA efa their course ewo Stade de France Niama Entumi Anko Senana or more expecting the report will be independently compiled by Dr. Tiago Brandao from Portugal ono ena obelidi production of the review so no we and the same kakra efihwa eba Robert Lewandowski Abrantia Osiakan Emma Bayern Munich Abrantia no occur international duty with the team Poland Sisiani the Abrantia is in the story at Bayern Munich need abayi yankasa o say nya dia opese Okusiakan Emma Bayern Munich bi so one thing is certain today my story with Bayern is over we ama Sisiano pressure abeto Abrantia no so Barcelona any other clubs in ano omuhwe nim say ombetumi assign a 33-year-old Robert Lewandowski what you mean as 50 goals in 46 games for Bayern Munich last season and Ocean the total goal record nedia 344 goals in 375 games and Abrantia no what you mean as in the German top flight we and the same kakra if we ono so na kachia eba yenremo ewo tennis in sensemo na ekopiemu ewo French Open na Roland Garros ekoso ewo France there and quarter final clashes ebekoso world number 3 our friend Alexander Zverev one Abrantia our friend Carlos Alcaraz obeshia na obusia kan ene ɛno ɛyɛ world number 6 na big game of the night no ɛno ɛbɛkɔ so Obra Novak Djokovic world number 1 our defending champion no obeshia 13-time French Open winner our world number 5 I friend Rafa Nadal na ohwe mbrante mienu we a 41 Grand Slam titles and wo down montema akensi ne de obia ehwe nim se abeye classic a obia ehwe nim se betumi okakopie mu e France na obetumi ahwe akensi ohwe two tennis players Nadia record Nadia 30-28 in favor of Novak Djokovic in terms of matches omutumi apo and it promises to be an interesting encounter ebeshese na niama ebekoso by close of day yakopiemu e mana family dia Italian Martina Trevisan or your world number 59 sorry on Leila Fernandez world number 18 beshia and na Coco Gauff world number 23 on Sloane Stevens world number 64 almost ombeshia ewo mana family we earn same kakra me de bremo from the world of sports. For more sports no tune in to Happy Sports at 9 a.m. Ohene Bampo Brenya Alan Green the researcher Odia Sempa Kwame Ware legendary Joe Debra omi na omutenasia omode Happy Sports ebe bremo at 9 for more details aha and I'm the Jumede no besi yebeda ne on kakra yababaka the Happy Morning Show continues.
And welcome back. We've done 26 minutes into 7 live on Happy 98.9 FM, ETV Ghana, Nisim 95.9, and at 100.1. Yemfa aye, yen CBG business tips na embre omam 4, and we are talking about steps to take after discovering a set will be Afrodil. Now, immediately report the fraud to authorities. Speak to your bank if you believe you have been defrauded. Your bank will help facilitate the process for you. And he said, ABA will be NY transaction be now. Say no, either way you should check. And I say ATM card, and I say open no. Oh, Phyllis, it's been compromised. Immediately, just notify the bank and tell them say they should shut down the account for maybe a period and to say everything has been rectified. And Sana, you continue using that account for all your transactions. These are steps we all need to, as a matter of urgency, learn to do moving forward. Sammy de Yemfa Aye Ghana Kasa Embre Omanfo Anapayi. Welcome back. As you say, yene Ghana for Edi and Komo and paying Koma Edi Ninano. I am sure say you have your own take, you have your own thoughts on matters that are popping up. It may not necessarily be an issue we are discussing this morning, but it may be say what area or community problems be you feel they must be highlighted for the world to know about them. Offer me 0244 885140. 0244-885140. Minubidi and Commando Pay and Alpha 0555-657-278. Any of these numbers, Minubidi and Commando Pay, which meeting. So hello, good morning.
Good morning, bro. Sammy, as you saying.
You made me jump on our way.
Miss Sumo Pao, or Frame, Kofi Kanewu, Frefi, North Canadian Night Agency.
You, Kofi.
Yeah, Brad Sammy say, Obi can say MP4 can say Ghana broke. Many have been said, you go. Ghana broke you, a year planting. And on what the thing was Ghana had because of
hello. All right, too bad. I'm so Kofi Ahumano and me and so 0555-657-278 0555-657-278 and 0244-885-140. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Sammy.
Yes, sir, Chief.
Master Dan, South Africa, so Otames.
Yes, sir.
Bless Sammy.
Yes, sir.
Ghana, Eddie. Now, so you cry MPP for about to mutation. The cow my share for me. I said you or my man to brain a breast. I say about Ghana, Abano, imagine now or breaking the eight. They are breaking the eight now, imagine. Yama, of course, or Ghana, they are informed. Then a Ghana for bring Yama, of course, through the dear Okotodia, just a two. Sammy, you Pamadio. You see, Yama, your Tory family, Munamano. Overcorne, they are to 20%. Overcorne, at the betty overcorn, they are to 50%. Nipan also have an answer to Gina, or no so. Probably move for more magic in platform. No, Musha Gana, my Namuja break it the 18. Umaju break it the 18, so I'm a Gana course say you, Medasa family.
Medals at a pace of framing our budget, you know, I saw also between a framing L0244885140. I make calm one for Sana Pay. Your major conversation, FR, Yaquine, and what incense. Throughout the week, that will be our focus. And I shall see the Tamamoto in Hong Kong. And I pay Yadasuya Tamamoto. There are cameras to watch what is really happening there. It's my experience I shared, but the cameras would depict what we really saw. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, Sammy. Good morning.
Morning, Chief.
Mike Neklago.
Yo, Mike.
Sammy. Only motor na 7 sa no pa mo ko ho ya mem sam ma another way bi. Who say bridge bi wo abatwa.
Yeah.
I don't know say who you show up bridge kitua bi wo abatwa. So nkofo beble FE 18 no fa bridge na say cross to the other side.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes so be cross no be see motorway anymore. On Champo say car na di fi ashama ba na the speed and I say this speed but one team that we see. And na trot for no ye bibi was so. Sami una mo wa ba una trot for obi na wasan rep. Enti ebia woni ma won so u nim say o ko be ho na we see. O si muso wie na ka na wasan didi watem.
True.
Yes, police for no one share my and yet photo in there and send the assassin and then cross no uko na ubia tina once adanya ubi be cross. Oh, as a bemponi. Bye bye.
Medals and a pace of framing now by Jimmy so on your contents with the Tema motorway. Also between framing I was 0244885140 0244885140. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, brother.
Yes, sir.
The friend feel a crime with time. What you say?
You know about your way. Unswe.
I don't know.
You.
I'm Rob attack you. We couldn't pass. Okay, when we go for yes, sir. I call you know. I call you one day we'll go for. And only a neck. Or time to come and I do about something about that. Some lawyer to attack with you. You can't be coming to the section and they say, and finally, you're president. President now, you say, the party do 10 and family, you know, and you have police security for Antasan, they're going to do. And the way security, Mama, while Basha, we are security in our community and country. We are security in our community, and come watch them with Chakaka, who will be able to get up, shoot you with great. And they are not passing down with the court. It is not the community in our court. Motorway, yes, let me see now class to me and yes, me and this Chicago. Chicago for so many years. Paper I read budget 2021, I ever implemented 2022. Single person, and I didn't work with that. Who got motorway now? Mom, by 6 billion. Now, most of a year is 7 billion. Okay, only now you're 4 billion. Now, you live in the country in Guadana for the dumped before we can not. I'm a Burkina Faso thinking, a Togo, are you for car thinking, Niger, no many have because we're far free. I'm blocking a gas told you. If Penny Moka is the only Togo to my washroom, you're not a good way to be at them. Penny Foot here, because here I'm called school with you, you answer. After one quan enemy answer, I can't get money in Chicago.
Right. Ma only been zoom na intimi fan na on so engine na no sem kakra anopay offer me 0244885140 many budget sana pay many obedi enkomo ewo happy morning show no eso 0244885140 and 0555657278 0555657278. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Akisam.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sammy.
Yes, sir.
We did Mr. Yama talk. We did a call my old Fati Raymond in a Sifa. We did a part of me CSR, corporate social responsibility. Into 1,000 to pay me German rent. Montana, German rent.
Pacho, man, take the last bit, you know. What's it? A corporate social responsibility, but the last bit in the man.
We Raymond. Now, Fatina, Stefan. Now, oh, Basa, Nagata. Montana, for one, I'm going to rent. But now, my side of which mission is in this one.
Okay. Oh, rent I do.
What?
Oh, okay. But you, producer no, on fair number area, a friend 9 in 18 come on. Why? The producer, mark the number for us. Area, you know, everybody and come on. But I think the party, Raymond, who's over to how use checkbook. Was signed, yes, was signed check. We are safe and then will be a who's a brand, you know, a good home. And you know, Raymond, after the show, no, and you be out there. Who say Fatin is now the account be children here. Who balance who pay balance and the vegetable. It's a very problem. Hello, good morning. Yes, sir.
Nana Kwatini Kumasi Sasame.
Yes, sir, Chief.
Say anamo kramun sem no do no sector or Accra ngiri sem se hona mo head ayin woni ntira na ya momra han su kakra un say you can Ghana International Road Park from Kumasi Techiman ayini ade no so
yeah
also ipa Ibize Road Park
yeah
na obi ka bibi say Burkina for kanom ni ade na ma ye momu ntwa hwe enanu bi mi bisa asase mu obi kira me say esan ECOWAS ayibi no aya ye ntino e was kabi am say twadema country no ka na fa ha ni nyina na was kabi a yenti enye force say e was say ye pay another tax bi e dey tax sa heavy trucks no ne kagus na na man na emom say togut no duru odi a e bi a betumi atwa bi me kura first na mente me ho ase na on say no ne ya na mre bia na ye ka no emre bia Ghana yesu akwan ho ye mpanimfo na wona ye to abama wo no eya na omu ba ye pa na ya na omu ye enti ye ba no say asphalt no ye na by 10 years time na say anka esekra enti ye ban firi o mampani dada Chama Lawrence Breso of Akufo Breso Prof Breso Mr. Mama Breso abesi na Akufo Breso enti Ghana ya kwa ne dodo ye say ada bia ye da so highways esu urban roads esu what we call cocoa roads rural areas no ne ade identity Ghana the yentumi nsem free akwan ho eda oh ene na etina say aban no mu ba aye paper so kwa enya de aye reality ene aye akwan ayi kilometers say ni abakenkai aye kilometers say ni abakenkai and so every blessed 4 years bia ye be change ayi bia na say new ayi bebe bia yesu akwan ho ene aye omuma de ne yenhunu ensin say paper so no na ye nanti paper so ye nanti paper so the bia will be esu akwan ho ukọ western ukọ northern ukọ eastern ukọ central ukọ everywhere in Ghana yesu
me do answer the pay so frame na ba homa no eso and kwe your own crying into most of the time say ana any edi and crying say no echi but that's why we activate the phone lines na mo so no the echo so almost mo no mo they bring but this issue of the neighboring countries tracks are more and Raymond what more tracks in the length and in the size say and I'm quite sure more than half but you better say so hello good morning
Kiba
yes sir
na for me chiam
you so
the friend easy exactly Tabora Laji
you
a family brother you Kwame Dinga
you
Kwame Dinga
you
or Asafo
you
Chiana na Pawi
you
brother me na for my brother somebody
Mr. Mo make sure so no and free ahoma because he did your baba ko aka say me na me share that kati ahoma no nti mo make sure so baba ahoma so hello good morning
Sami good morning Tete ni sprinters
yes sir
Sami afienya ya me say sefaka afienya to Dowenya wow kwan bi wo ho Sami na last be obi the big of family business na we kwan na say then sabi ho de nyi o enye kwan ya onam so na isuo bi wo isuo bi da kwan so me ti say last week na esi obi ko wu wo small boy bi ko wu ati say last week o sami masa Ghana ye wo kwantwa
you see me jina ahoma no so na mani uni nkomo bi
yo
anunti na Ghana kasa dwumadi e wo ho because you see me betina hanum say ya de me di mani ehu na meka me betina hanum say ya me problems o me area and America. But all these descriptions are more than my nyina no. Enye fese nka wo frame ya wo ka ho asem yi no. Na nka ye bo pictures and a video ye de kire omanfo ana.
Oh, okay.
It would be nice. So, you see, we must see.
You
see, we must see.
And about Honorable Sam George, the constituency, old Ningo to Aham. Sammy, hey, radiation. Hey,
Medo say, you know, men can't make a cramp and chair, ya chef for near for say, Ghana Casa, a for Ghana Casa, a modia. And ye me, and ye Raymond, and ye Fatty, and yet your segment. It's for you guys. And what you're seeing in your area, no, for pictures, for videos, for sending, yembo on your behalf. No, man, for who the deplorable situations are. Motimo. Hello, good morning.
Sammy?
Yes, sir. Ola and mommy feedback about your who say but lower your radio set for me. Why?
Oh, my no.
Now it was giving me an echo.
Okay, me that say.
All right. Imagine.
Yamadmo. Mr. United States of Kitama. Sammy?
Yeah.
When we say Ufi Akamo Okomadina Shashi Junction Honomono.
Yeah.
Sammy, when we say pavement, baby, the distance is a total for Nafa.
Yes. True.
Sammy?
True.
Total for Nafa pavement to anything.
Yeah.
Ubinama not on the coin, one shall now do Caprabono.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
You're
right.
Let the authorities know because
you're very right. You're very, very right. You're very right. I've seen that point. Ima Meadows and a pay so from Nabaj Medino so 0555 657 278 and now 0244 885140. The no our TV so our Facebook. Anti ultra pictures and also videos na all the sending and I say that to your Facebook page and I say that to TV so oman for ebehu the situation a woman ti ada nyina no ojimre na the friend just to highlight that concern. It's not just about saying them, but it's about showing to the world what's happening there. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Sammy.
Yes, sir.
We show to the world, but we didn't see the results.
What you say?
We show to the world. But we didn't see the results.
You show to the world, but you don't see the results. And yes. I'm like say, see something, show something.
Really, ever have it about like
someone who's a bro from India, who's a one hour casa.
Yes, so all some is slang pa. Huh?
What's say?
Why do you want to come in? Better mercy. In Funini, you try breathe. You know, so I say, Bakuna, you try no. Last summer, they are both good ones. So, one has one of a broken tatana.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, Cathy, a sound who knows about that quantum view. And to enforce study, or my eyes speaking no. Yeah, you could do it. Yeah, you could do baby. Now they're not say. You hear me, look at you. With a message, no, I say, Mahu, I bet him. That's why I'm trying to now. I that's all.
Exactly.
That's a trap. My one, the first one, the other champ, you know. Tell him what to do. I am Mahu. What I say, we say attack or back to square one with you. Yeah, not here 12 years per one. I can be here. And so, you have one goose, you get walk, you see, I thought I will have one. I'm in Napo. The bridge now may come with some school for I'm so without any barricades. A bridge missile. Wouldn't bridge you, barricades here in this, barricades here in this. I'm up for Namso, school for Namso. That's for Sabi. Candidate of election, what to come or say a man money to Johnny or say a money to Manum because the crime will call the election, you have a Mubia or someone with human minimum. But a young Kai say, you're in Trimba that you don't jail my dad action with him. My discarding now, my name, sir. My Toati Motor Forest, my name now, and sir. Young Captain Trimba or what that you knew ɔmo na mbɛdi ɔmo yadeɛ ɔmo na mbɛhwɛ Ghana ɛde ama yɛn ɔmo na mbɛyɛ Ghana kasa ɛde ama yɛn tura bɛhyia wɔ akyirɛ bye bye.
mɛdɛ ɔsɛ yɛdi sa nɔpɛ wofrɛ me no aba dwumadie no so o slangs na no ɔden ɛno nti na mentumi ɛnte slangs no ɛyie but maso mu saa mɛbɛ fie no akyerɛ mmerɛbrɛfo kakra. I believe say we'll pick our last but one caller na afei no we'll be wrapping up na yaba back to the studio. Mo mo tema area nyina no mo apply Accra tema motorway ni so nyina no anapɛ mo nkomo na ye die. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Open Bobo here.
Nyame ado ba chana so e.
Nyame ado.
Yes sir.
Like two parties in the anko mo fuye ma menchia motifo nyina.
Yenko.
Na you pray ba ko pe. Yeah, Ghana how only the fireman on the radio. The American says that two parties will open you better you work with Nara. Send this year people and the Samomo. Here the Ghana constitution the other Kusiaga because we have business party. Some parties pay for the business. It's almost the Ghana business. Yeah, almost Chama and almost Ghana for. And she say nothing. Here kasa chembe puno here sasa ya twene NCNDC ne people ani yakoto aba sika ya gigi sie botom here ko yi party payinfu a the same party payinfu na NDC people na to aba yi omo payinfu a dey sika dey dey bi mo ba abonten ene no krenko ena se payinfu no mu di ato na ntokwa si ne de junction atu bi mo so sa ko fu na de sa ko form to mo fa junction beto Ghana so no ma ba be di Ghana so intimidate no kre ba ko pe NDC ya samoa ni ampe party ya beti ya boy say Ghana Union movement mata Ghana because what think sa after the job ni na ye wo hwe atiane ya de den and e propo nye isi the people the job ya de aba me enwa to ye what you was the mun to mabunifo yan tue wo fi NDC ni people no man ya fe si oni na ni aduma
Medas and a place of frame in Abba Jumedino SO Happy 98.9 FM, Nisim 95.9 and 100.1. Sa platform see so and I will take media, but all share there our live our ETV Ghana Yamakwaba about Jumedino SO. It's a final call on the Eburuma will pick the final caller, but in the meantime, I may be say and Yabiano and a Pewana Musiana, Obana Musia Manania, a weak purified drinking water, 330 ml, 500 ml, 750 ml, 1.5 liters, and then 19 liters jar. Wait me at all now, so you will fee Usuku was sorry anyway, you remember. Na insuno Otona no bottle back, this can be the Koboa, the National Cardiothoracic Center, our Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Minia Obey Insure Ediamobi, obey me from our 0262 351 251 and our 0272 13373. Casaproco Company Limited for a yes, insure we say, let us say you are supporting a local brand to grow. Na ninyine muno minia na ye bobo ho aduane yebedi ade ama yemma yebenwa ade ama yemma aduane yebedi for restaurants, for hotels, baby a chop bars ekwedi ni nyina no. We should be thinking about healthy meals to eat. Na healthy meal no obedi a na zenkwa na wo ye no ye de aye tasty tom na ye de aye tasty tom tomato mix and American was no the enriched one and I mean edu enkomo vitamins more enriched with fiber any vitamins any other nutrients that we hear send you onipadua no ebetimi aye adwuma eye anti bomodin say if you dey tasty tom enriched tomato mix and abe yusu ewo onsu ofie restaurant hotel no wo ye aduane e dey ama guests na make sure say tasty tom and ade aduane e dey ama wadofo a wo aba hotel ho no ma strength about wonipa that's an ibia abrabum and nipadua emu big time data any sika kokko and amino edi enho enkomo no minia sisia idea Airtel Tigo for see encancho say omo at the big time data no e dey abro anase sika kokko no and then all of us are on social media so call YouTube input for a 5 minutes we data and send you see tremika no obe no ani ebeti na asa. But one more, I say, ubitimi enya 1.5 gigabyte. Utia just 10 Ghana cedis. Minia ensa eda. That is a bundle no bundler. Expiry dates be any so if you on my auto, so use it within 5 days, and I say within 10 days there be omo enya nisa. Omo at the bundle no at the ma between you know. Afe bo so one kasawama no and sandia. Nature say Voila. And one more various officer suited for various category of one more customers. And one more they said dom Eteltigo almost life is simple. Now only more come paying taxes is an obligation to the state, and the CBG is making tax payments very enjoyable and stress-free. Make both electronic and cash payments for MDAs and MMDAs on CBG platform the simple way. You can pay through the mobile money using the hash, using the code *222# with invoice numbers to MMDAs and MDAs. In branch collection platforms, customers can make payments on behalf of MDAs and MMDAs. Make your payments through CBG, the best platform for all payments and transfers, both electronic and cash for MDAs and MMDAs. And Alfred 0302-216-000. And for anybody in Commotion, I also know Bibia Ebitmi, Ako and Kind Ediama. Some day, maybe back to the studio now, Ramon and the party, Edianante, a year tema motorway, and a home and sense. Party motorway, a home sense, and potholes are to see driver for a complaint.
Sammy, for now, it would be best to say, so when you sue motorway in there, that's a walk towards that end there. Find alternative routes, because na wa dream no motorway there edemu as a kwani se wo continue anka I think there is a route called Beach Road
yes
omo pentem no omo mfa Beach Road na nkomo abefa motorway but say it looks as if say Beach Road no be your best alternative. Because when you say motorway nangasa wonam so because of senior kwani some sound bia and no crano own drive so for the first time it's me ma yem show say and then e course wo me kan we into imagine say now no with all that gra sound and then you have to dodge potholes that you do not expect to see on the motorway and then the potholes and the bypasses unapproved route amanfo create motorway nche creating traffic na first we know say we know say these are the reasons cause traffic on the motorway they share toll booth you toll booth if you are still crying the traffic is rather getting worse when you sue that don't use the route ko baby for again Sammy motorway meaning say the construction is different from the roads I don't know the excuse that we have been given say eba ne patch na e betumi use asphalt na e dey aye instead of the original baby aye fire say e be meaning what that means for the lifespan of the road, meaning what that means for the efficiency of the road. Into the engineers in a bit me actually mu say, does this work? No. Does it work? We say no. Mo aso na motra aka say mu ntumi amon patch. Yes. Into can they also patch with concrete and say they can patch with how they are doing it? Because these places no ma patch na say we share TV and say we share radio. These places no mo dey asphalt patch and chebia na sign you can see that this was newly done, but look at the state now. And you know what really needs to be done. And I think the reason why we cannot seem to close parts of the motorway to actually do major repair works, is the lack of alternative routes.
I disagree. No.
You think it's not a lack of alternative routes?
To fix one part.
Because I think tracks now, tracks near the entire you're building motorway need the way that it has been built, on back of a beach road.
No, you see, Fatih, there are periods where traffic is less on that road. And you can work on the motor. Yes.
Lights burn on the side.
They are mobile. Yes, they are mobile. If indeed there is a desire and a commitment to fix the motorway, it can be done easily. It is not to say entity before entity enkujina kwan we say so. You see, the motorway Accra to Tema side
supposed to be
it's not
two
as
lanes, but
bad
as
one. The Accra to Tema stretch is not as bad as the Tema to Accra stretch. Because of the loader Tema to Accra stretch, a receive, it has become worse off than the, Tema bound side, And into Osho Road, look, one of the dangerous parts here from the free 18.
Yeah.
Now overhit it. There's a big pothole. Boom, Sisia. And imagine, say, what is control on the motorway? Imagine. Fati, the bram, that's the no. It be a hard man, Sisia and AE.
Yeah.
AE.
And those things were supposed to be breakers.
Yes.
Oh, expansion bar.
Expansion bar.
Assume.
Now, and it's just no AE. AE. And now the bram sound is louder. Coupled with a road now, say no. But Fati, are we saying, say, yet me be being for one?
The question we should ask is how we sat down for it to get to this point.
Legitimate. But you see, it's becoming a danger to users of that road. Say, ne, obabi ye juma ewo tema. No free can or kwa. You have to pray for the child every day.
Yeah.
Because anything can happen on the Tema motorway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Part of the motorway.
It's part of the motorway. And this is where I was complaining about.
Yeah,
John, so back Accra. There across the road, Trotro Jina Honma station there almost every passengers. It's not as a MTTD patrol unit or patrol motorway no. They haven't seen no. This side maybe I get Jina no. Ufi East Legona. Ura East Legona chi honma. There's a road be able to be pim or not walk cross. Into one more quarter man no man cross it. No man faka, no man the quarter man. And to trot for the park see honma almost train passengers. Virtually, what we are saying is that a trotro station is gradually starting up on the motorway.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it's become difficult for us to fix the motorway. I don't know why we are not paying attention to it. And like Raymond said, you're trying to say, Minister B, MPB.
Look at that.
And look at this road.
Yes. You understand? It's not coming out.
Asphalt,
it's going inside. If you're going inside, then it will eventually cut off.
Yes.
Asphalt, don't penny in Shubet.
Governs Kwame Abuja, Abeka Insa, member of Parliament for Adaklu constituency, or a ranking member on the Roads and Transport Committee. You miss say motorway. Adenti and Yajai Ama motorway bedroom permeswa at Honorable, morning.
Morning to you and morning to your listeners and viewers.
So Chino Yakakra.
And yet that's good, but I'll mix it up.
Yanfa mix it. Honorable, motorway, why is it the way it is?
Well, first of all, the motorway as we see it now was not built initially to do what it's doing. And just like any road, there's a lifespan. I think the motorway has reached a stage where it needs rehabilitation. You'll be surprised to know that despite all that you said about the dangers on it, it still remains one of the best roads in Ghana. Because if you were to even go to part of Accra, as it's coming to rain now, I'm sure some people are either going to lock themselves up in their room because when it rains, the access to their communities will be cut off. So we have a general problem on the road network in our country, and it costs a lot of money to do it. But we must do it. The motorway was originally designed to maybe facilitate movement of goods from the port out of Accra and then to elsewhere. And then the time it was built, as you know, East Legon didn't exist, Tasako didn't exist, all those Spintex Road and the factories on both sides of the road never existed. Surely there was no trotro station along the motorway. Today, we have seen all that happening. So the capacity of the motorway itself has been called into question. I mean, we require interchanges along the motorway so that traffic can flow in and out safely and effectively. All those things are issues that we need to deal with. And indeed, because it's concrete, if it were to be asphalt, normally there's a wearing cost, maybe 50, 70, 100 mil wearing cost that can usually, after a period, either 10 or 15 years, you can remove the wearing course and then relay it so that it is smoother. But because it's concrete and the joint you're talking about, expansion joint, obviously, when you have a large span of concrete, you ought to have expansion joints so that the cracks don't go beyond a certain level. But I must say the motorway has lived quite well. Knowing how long it's been built, it's a reinforced concrete. So when we have spots developing defects, all we need to do is to go back and remedy those sections, periodically. That is why in every budget, there's a portion called routine maintenance and periodic maintenance. That is supposed to be done even on roads that are assumed to be good roads. The problem is if you look at the budget, the expenditure on those things keep falling back all the time. So we do really have an issue. The motorway should have been reconstructed by now. I know those who built the Tema Port, the MPS, had a proposal to add the motorway as part of the project at the point in time. It didn't go through. Then the World Bank started trying to fund a study, and then at the point in time, they also backed off. And so we are where we are currently, and we can't say that until we reconstruct the motorway, we can't do anything about it. Or indeed, we can remedy some of the dangerous spots that are on the motorway currently. And I agree with you. One of the things that are quite dangerous on the motorway now, because the speed limit on the motorway is 100 kilometers. So when somebody is on the way, especially, it's also an ECOWAS highway. So assuming somebody is from Nigeria or let's say Cote d'Ivoire on that road, he's not expecting to see trotros coming in and out. But sadly, this morning, if you go, that is what is happening. And the trotro drivers, some of them deliberately just slow down, touting for the passenger. They slow down looking whether somebody will pop out somewhere so that they stop and pick them. Those ones are management issues. The MTTD can deploy along the motorway to find out whether we should maybe have dedicated places that can safely be used for that, or we stop it altogether so that we don't wait, as you are saying, for the worst to happen before we all start shouting. In fact, I've also got data on how many vehicles have been crashing into the abandoned toll booths, including this week, because it's not being used. Why? Because when the toll booths were in use, drivers know automatically when you get there, you must slow down to go through the booth and pay your toll. Today, they know there's nobody there. So they go through at speeds which are beyond what it should go. Unfortunately, some of them veer off and crash into the barriers and other things. So we've made the motorway quite a hazardous place to use, and which ought not to be the case. So that is the summary of our situation on the motorway. I feel we could do better in terms of maintaining the motorway, because we keep taking taxes and everything. We, in fact, until recently, when the minister illegally, or the government through propaganda, decided to suspend the collection of tolls on our roads. And I can tell you, we've done the survey. No driver in this country believes that they can use roads without paying tolls. What they always cry for is, show us what you've been doing with the tolls you've been collecting. So if you decide that because you're going to get e-levy, you're not going to take tolls. Even in advanced countries, Britain, America, we still toll roads. What makes Ghana so special that we think that we can do this without this? And now we've actually borrowed money to improve the toll booth. We borrowed money to automate the gate, put CCTV and quite some sophisticated things there. And few months' time, we decided to abandon them. And I can tell you, we are even contracting loans to build roads today. And we are still putting in money to build toll booths till today. So we borrow money to build toll booths, and then we abandon them. So that is the tragedy of our country currently.
So are we saying that we can't do anything much about the motorway, especially seeing that construction initially was done with concrete and all attempts to fill with asphalt has not worked or yielded any positive results?
Oh, no, it worked. I remember very well when a portion on the, heading towards Accra caved in quite significantly some time ago. I remember, I think, Ibrahim Mohammed's company and others stepped in and did something remedial work. I think every road, ought to be going through a routine maintenance. So all I'm saying is that the large portion of the motorway is still user friendly. It's still good. So the spots that are bad, we could go there and repair them. And I don't even feel that if we're going to do the motorway again, we should remove the tons of reinforced concrete. We should just remedy the defective parts and then lay a new wearing course on it, which will last us for some time. No road in this world is meant to last forever. Not even human beings last forever, let alone road. So it is about having a road in such a way that routinely we can do some work to remedy the defective parts. That's all it is. So if the question is, can't we do anything? We can surely do something about it. We can go on that road.
So why are we not doing it?
Well, because I'm not sure whether government has been allocating any significant amount of money for that. Because you see, doing maintenance work on the motorway is different from doing pothole patching. Like you said, it's concrete. Yes, you can have a way of using a certain level of asphalt to remedy small portions, but obviously, in those who did material science will let you know that there's no way you can bond concrete and asphalt together forever, especially when they are just cracks. It's not going to bond forever. So we ought to have a solution that works. And so far, we haven't deployed that. And if I look at the budget, I can tell without a doubt that there isn't enough money allocated for that kind of work on the motorways.
In ending our conversation, let me ask about a general situation of roads in the country. It was supposed to be a year of roads, and yet all we experience from constituencies and communities and assemblies, everybody is crying about their bad roads.
Well, I think the current government knows that all of us enjoy slogans. So one constituency, $1 million. So everybody gets happy. My constituency is going to get $4 million in 4 years. One district, one factory. Everybody feels there's going to be a factory in his backyard employing people. All sorts of, free education. I don't know how many people send their children to school this morning without, attempting to pay extra classes and other things. I've seen an article from the university saying that some of the products from the SHS are not very good, because when somebody gets aggregate 40 and other things, what exactly are you going to do? And so the year of road came as the same thing, believing that NAPCO, we are going to employ all the youth. People believed it. Today we are even arguing as to whether the program has been terminated or been novated to another one. And so year of road was one of those things. And I kept saying that the first year of road, what I saw in the budget in terms of real money allocated for road was just about 1 billion Ghana cedi. If you consider the fact that an average kilometer of road to build is about $1.2 million, $1.2 million. So what is 1 billion supposed to do? In the current budget, it's just about 2 billion Ghana cedi. And if you consider the fact that we all contracted over 10 billion Ghana cedi, those are certificates that are in the system. That's contractors have worked and have raised certificates, and they are due for payment. About 10 billion Ghana cedi. We are not able to pay them. And by the close of today, that 10 billion will go up, because every day new certificates are coming. And the quantum of projects on site on the road sectors we are doing is about 40 billion. Cocoa Road alone have awarded projects over 14 billion Ghana cedi. And then add the rest, Sino Hydro, whatever. So on the books of Ministry of Road and Highways, there's a possible 40 billion cedis worth of project. If you consider that the whole appropriation of the 2016 budget was 50 billion, that's just about 50 billion. And we are talking about 40 billion on roads alone. You can imagine the size of problems we have in our country in terms of road. That is why you can't see much action on the road. And to make it worse, whenever we generate money that ought to be used for road, the finance ministry deliberately, because of this obnoxious or backward way of saying something called capping. So road fund generate 2 billion Ghana cedi, hoping that at least the 2 billion will go into road infrastructure. Then we take about half of that money for consumption. We generate money for education. When you pay your get fund levy and everything, your mind tells you that money goes into fund education. Sadly, a chunk of that money goes to pay Dachi and something, an SPV created upon which they have gone to borrow money. So we generate the money. It's not as if we are not generating any money at all. But the way we apply the money, I agree that we need to generate even more money to be able to fix the road. But even the little we generate is not able to help. The minority actually made a commitment that we feel the road tolls needed to be increased. I mean, we are realistic. Road tolls needed to be increased. Currently, if I use a Land Cruiser and I cross the motorway, I pay 1 cedi. I don't think anybody will cry for me even if I'm asked to pay 4 cedi. Because when you drive Land Cruiser, it means you are slightly well-to-do. Then maybe we can look at how Uber and taxi, we can cushion them. But sadly, what we saw was a populist action. Oh, let's cancel the road toll. The road toll was getting us about 80 million Ghana cedi a year. We feel we can augment that to be at least 200, 300 million Ghana cedi. But guess what? Even that 80 million is gone to the wind. Do you not believe that if that 80 million Ghana cedi was available, we can even say that use 20 million to fix the defective part of the motorway permanently? That would have been a solution. But we are where we are.
Quickly, before we end the conversation, yesterday we were having a conversation about this motorway issue, and my colleague in the studio raised a matter of how some $570 million had been promised or allocated for this whole motorway we are talking about. I think the project was supposed to start in December of last year. That 570 million, was it really utilized, or has it even been allocated in the first place?
Well, first of all, as far as we in the minority are concerned, there's no project called $570 million for Accra Tema motorway. There was an attempt to use a PPP process to reconstruct the motorway. Somewhere in 2020, the government itself cancelled that process because all the bidders were not responsive enough. Sadly, the government clandestinely went into a sole source agreement with a company called Motor Angels, a foreign company. And that company is no longer required to bring the money. That company is basically in the country as a contractor, requesting government to go and borrow $570 million and give to them to do the project. You and I will know that that is, in the first place, that is in breach of Article 1815 of the Constitution, which requires that if government enters into any economic venture with any foreign entity, that agreement must come to Parliament. That didn't come to Parliament. The part of that contract says that if after 3 months the parties are not able to come to terms and start the work, that contract would have been deemed null and void. That contract was signed in 2016, by 16 December 2020. We are in June, almost in June now, and that contract hasn't been activated because what? Government is expecting Ghana Infrastructure Fund to go and look for money and then give to Motor Angel to come and do that project. I looked at that contract, and that contract, a portion of the contract during negotiation says that the contract price as envisaged by the engineers at the Ministry of Road and Highways, which I believe are truthful, has been inflated by 39%. How on earth can somebody say that a price quoted by a sole source contractor is up and above 39%, yet the government went ahead to sign the contract for the same price? That can only mean that somebody is looking for a personal interest. So as far as the NDC is concerned, we don't recognize that there's a valid contract between government of Ghana and anybody to build Accra Tema motorway. That contract is a fraudulent contract, and we will not accept it. So we need to find another way of coming back to find the money to build the Accra Tema motorway. As far as we are concerned, that $570 million contract with Motor Angels is illegal. It is 39% inflated according to pages of that same contract. How on earth can a patriotic human being, Ghanaian, sign a contract like that? Unless there's personal interest.
Honorable, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Member of Parliament for Adaklu constituency joining us today on the show. Mr. Fati, you better know how to see last time you cover taxes are you get fund you NHIL you road fund you from what the honorable said you and this is can but omunye scan via na ade wo som this scan kwan no omo fa nye womo ayi na special purpose vehicle akwaji loan bonds until every time when we have paid our taxes, expecting that our taxes will build schools, expecting that our taxes will build roads, expecting that our taxes will go to augment the National Health Insurance Scheme. It is a loan. Loans can be when we went to collect the loan, the evidence of the loan we collected on the ground, and so robbing Peter to pay Paul. You just cannot hanum say ya kwasha hanum say ye de kwasha hanum say na ha short. Ye de kwasha ha hanum ye adwuma say be gina na afi ye just can fi on na ya be sha hanum say na hanum I started a fall short. How can we do this to ourselves? Come on, in accounting is misappropriation.
I'm sure yeah,
so you can't
yeah. What I say? It's a cycle. It's a cycle. You better go round, 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 and round. I mean, how can a contract? Well, if what
and in this, you know that mostly in this country, it is when we do not really consider misappropriation of funds as something bad.
Yes.
It's like, oh, Sanka was so Demasamen or Diama Raymond. Here. So meanwhile, you have gone to apply and sign for Sami. But a do SEO in Farmer Raymond.
It's a misappropriation of the crime.
And I say, what must I say?
It's not a crime.
Misappropriation and mismanagement, you know. We don't we consider so we can
yes.
as done as a crime done.
Sami, yen free hand and fanko shehano. These decisions are taken at high level.
But the fact that it's being taken by a high-level person doesn't mean that
most of the
it's
time,
a tiamra.
Most of the time, is to save somebody's bottles.
Yeah.
What must I say?
Absolutely.
What must I say? To say, be I say election a basi. No one can say, oh, let's subsidize this into a buying to have the balance, you know, just to make the people feel good and vote for us.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's to save somebody's ass so that we will be in power.
Yeah.
Now you are misappropriating. Meanwhile, this is what is needed. Over NHIS Asemia, I am sure that is exactly what is causing all the
challenges with the scheme.
Debt and service providers. You know, at the time we are supposed to provide pay them, not because we don't generate the money or we don't make the money. See how much we are paying for your friend is saying NHIS in tax apart from subscribers Siko Mutia.
Sami, a very difficult situation, and I think that, to be fair, government ensure commitment. Then I expect to show commitment about infrastructure development. So I mean, that's a matter of fact. So I mean, this motorway we are talking about, at the heart of the country, business with neighboring countries in other parts of the country, 16 regions in now. You vote a free because I call the other way. It be a eastern region free to a certain extent. But I mean, we are going to central region, we are going to western region, we are going to Volta region, we are going to northern region. So I mean, if you are to cut goods from Tema Harbour into some of these areas, so I mean, you obviously need that kind of route. Even when settlements around Harbour no, pressure no sumpuna. I can't bet me withstand any pressure. Beba. So I mean, Oko from Beach Road, say Oko Harbour now. But who say, my pavement blocks through to Golden Jubilee Terminal to airport to Port Major now. But who say, pavement blocks and no more. So I mean, it's been like that for a long time, and I'm sure say, omo constructing, omo nim lifespan, omo chain, money deteriorating and sana. They relate. Maybe that question say, what kind of maintenance were we doing for the motorway? When we realized, hey, motorway are not first, no, a single purpose, cutting goods, no.
Yeah.
Apart from cargo pressure and near money, no so no. Yes, we had the cars so because of settlement around the motorway. What were we doing? So I mean, we waited and waited and waited
and
watched for the motorway to get to this state before after you say you compare $570 million abe coin. So I mean, as we speak today, as at 2021 or even 2020, and feasibility studies in the Nema cost so your cost here you did $570 million by. I am not sure we are going to have the same cost today if we are to consider that motorway.
True.
With exchange differentials in Sensem, what is happening as far as contract Abemano, import duty in Nema Betuitia, whatever is imported into the country to do Nejumano. So I mean, I'm not sure. We got money, went to build Dubai. We got money, we built Dubai. We got money, N1. Say N1, no, not Chinese snake on N1. No. N1, yes.
N1, Millennium Challenge.
Very good. Millennium Challenge.
Millennium Challenge.
So at every point in time, no, roads I say yankasa ye ematima mufo no. Sami, just say yakoji loan every amanone, and I say adoyeba and send it to me roads.
Yeah, adoye obi hu yamobo.
Obi hu yamobo. And send it to me roads.
Obi tax.
Yes.
Obi man for tax.
And Sami, you see. Ene ayeti. If your motorway, ye G2 also, ye CNG bill. Sato numpo no Sami, it could have even been channeled into, at least, making sure say motorway na potholes in Yama beam no. You bet me a swano kakrebi pe. Sami na make say at least to barest minimum. Just make it more trouble.
Yeah.
Say na be ya omo community or road no so no. Omenya how do you call it?
Respite
kakra. But I mean that is not the case. And the question they will be asking us, they say, where should we get the money from? Sami, legitimate question. Where should we get the money from? But you forgot to say, Tobut da wa also manage GBO.
Say no make teacher for no. You tack for no.
Yes.
Where are you expecting the money to come?
No, Sami, and so you see, a combination of factors have brought us to the point where motorway no be there. Sami, if you pay attention to the motorway, when edges now, air concrete edges no.
Yeah.
When insurance say edges no. But every part of the road, so look at this part, this portion. Yeah. Every portion of the road, asphalted. Insurance to me,
True.
And it clearly tells you that the asphalt is not compatible with what you want to do. Especially if you have to lay it from the edges in now, unless you do drains.
Yes.
And a basic engineering job. But we've left it. The asphalt no, and it's the effect of the rain and the two seems the effect of the rain. Just look at what we are seeing.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I don't know what we want to happen, or I don't know what we want to change before Sisiano. And Simon himself motorway first now show Genaso.
Baby.
And that is another problem. And no cramp on young can once my babeson. And so for me, all I'm saying is, if government is really interested, year of roads now, some of their priority roads. And you can't tell me motorway cannot be a priority road. As I mean, you say a huge motorway no so. This is a 4-lane motorway. As we speak, a 4-lane, my boy. 2 go, 2 come.
Yeah.
You close one side, start working on one side. You finish it, you close that side, you open it up, then you do your fit out, getting to the end of a Jumano. Why you quite away? As I mean, having to see roads there, you're closing one side. I even Kumasi Road. You close one side.
Yeah.
Ghanaians would have to bite the bullet by dealing with ABI, vehicular traffic in Nema. But if it's within 24 months, I mean, it's for the good of the people. And Sami, Sikana, Sami, ya bobusia sama sisiano. Abai who say, ya bre busia bono. Kakra beji wo to no so yesi NGB ye be 11. Ghana forces 11 omuntia.
Sisia de obetua.
It is here Abai has connect on one person. And as I mean, we catch your 11, we make sure the facts that what 11 you want. A better one. It is, I mean, maybe I can say, if government is not ready to go and look for the probably $700 million about the motorway now, probably $700 million. So I'm saying, then, what they send out omuye asphalt no, omu engineers in their wisdom, if they say asphalt na no mo de beko no, omu koye asphalt no. Otherwise, Sammy, we 1 week job, major work on motorway. Partner to no. You cut it out, Sammy. You cut those portions
one
out.
line you
see
mesh
very good.
One line mesh room
good.
One makes it concrete. Oh dear groom blind.
1 week. What jamming on now? So that time you shift the traffic onto the other side. Say never yeah. More yes I do money now. But I'm here quick. Can't never see an do goom.
Oh.
Engineers.
Person can do money now.
My uncle have a friend when I'm a
oh, they be
when you get a contract in easy.
Sammy.
Sammy. MSA and a room on a cano. I mean, two since you
yeah.
Uko, watcha.
Cut it out. Excavate.
What's two mu? One makes you mesh. What the shemu? What do you concrete a gusu? What find it top no? And one no. Oh, we are Juma. Hey, Juma. Tema pot so there.
Concrete like premix.
My brother.
This is premix
machine be see on ma.
Time now we motor no. Ko bisa say na premix motor wo no mo dey.
And the cement manufacturing companies people the government purchase who almost say or cement.
And these cement companies they cut their goods on that same motorway. Oh Sammy. It's becoming frustrating. Sammy I quite say see I ba show no so lamenting. You lamenting.
I say it's not make catch me say my brain.
Sammy, you lamenting sir.
Enti am catch say
see. Aban ye bibia mai.
Enti am catch me one person me lament.
Sammy the year of roads ni ni. Year of roads no. Sammy opa. E na say me hu Gold House. Na only nam. Gold House now ko enim kakra obo say ye drains. Airport. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Baby here no. Asalam down Petemu ha. Relay.
Yeah.
When the roads were not even bad.
Asphalting.
Sammy, year of roads any.
Yeah, any.
And now you be Accra na you other regions na ejuma no koso.
Set tracker be na for elections no.
Sammy.
Be a tracker no. But who rules na ya no.
Sammy.
Be a tracker.
Na Sammy who could be a tracker ampo. Budget ya omo kan na say ya.
So budget in this for solar road na be
Sammy budget omo to be na say mo. Go look at the number of roads
omo. The popular one voter to North Road never saying.
Sammy remember.
Oh, briefly.
Eastern Corridor.
And what happened?
Sammy Share Road.
And what?
List of town and community roads covered under asphaltic overlay program in 2021. Greater Accra, Osu, Labone, Airport Residential, Tesano, Madina, Tema, Ayawaso, Bawi, English Amanfro, Shiashi, Bema Camp, Adenta.
Escafona.
Sammy Share as well.
Escafona.
Young Teshi. Let's go to Teshi today.
Escafona.
Let's enter your friend is saying. Young Bora Greater Estate.
Yeah.
You see, I see a dualization of
Padi be oti ne kemo says what in the few on na holding you a friend of Michael Saint. And I send him a message so you believe road construction is that simple. Say I don't come here adwuma na o ma ya o mo nim the technicalities involved and can make na ma catch say that simple.
Sammy, road construction is simple when there's money under the job. Modik Sikama Curious Gavao. Enye Dubai no Musimamo. There was money with now Curious Gavao. They didn't lack money. Sammy, at no point in time inside construction of Dubai did they go and say into Omoka. Na Sikanu go on omo ye adwuma na wie omo hand over. Ye sanko ye jubilation. Ewo your friend is saying Obra Square, Obra Sport. Ye san see a pump and pageantry at the commission here. Sammy, a pesicana, you behu. Sammy, if you want money, who get the money?
Now, I guess no version is no.
Yes.
So teacher.
Sir, Siciano, on the first 9
and then will feel how to say.
But after say,
who her socks no?
After say, Aban Sakano.
Yes, Aban Sakano.
I feel there, or there is no parking.
A socks no.
And say,
jacket near blue.
But Sammy.
Asaswa bo white shirt. Me near me nim the entire bo white shirt. Bo white shirt eguso. Emia a red tie.
Sammy Nyabotre. Ono de na say be kind of later, but Sammy.
On the Andy Munenam.
Sammy, on a more serious note.
Yeah.
If the roots minister is listening to us this morning, when him so be family to win so. Sort it off. Or be family to win so. If he's driving on that motorway, on one as roots minister, is he happy with what his community know?
If you're open home.
Can he drive?
No, Sammy
can he drive on that motorway and be proud of himself as a road minister?
You don't know. Let me explain anything to you. Unam Kumasi Accra Road. There's a junction that goes to a town called Kwabin in the eastern region.
Yeah.
From Kwabin Junction to Kwabin and other towns. Look, Uvrema, Bakaswesi Abruchi.
Wow. And a
that's the minister's enclave.
A honor free.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
That's his enclave.
So I know the no
street lights are a good kind so asphalt. Any one friend saying those protection lining road no.
Barricades.
Yeah, it's barricades no. No joke.
Oh. Ain't a hot year.
Beautiful road.
Ni handiwork as roads minister has to be seen in Kwabin.
Yes. And it is not you.
But road now, no one can say you see there.
It is not you who is going to prompt the roads minister say kwan out in the Land Cruiser and the first one up bia no. E betimi ekunu dako.
Samu no say oko Senegal na. President no. Who say fire bit or hospital be at 11. Yeah. Only say president no Osaki health minister immediately. Yeah. Only say
we answer say.
Sami, I'm saying that look, president should. Okay, as a president, can the motor kid no speed no cut too much. But president so better nebo. I go slow or kwan no so. Sami, I'm sure by the time president comes back, you fire the rules minister. I'm telling you.
No.
Oh, Sami, because the discomfort. Oh, Nyabojo, Sami. Of fuck when you be so.
Have you seen a government?
Even in front
of. Yeah, saying, how did you call it? Reshuffle. Last 4 years, move reshuffle.
That's why I say we don't change the winning team.
Why there was reshuffle?
Which reshuffle did you see?
Oh, I am reshuffle. Yeah,
no, sir.
That was transitioning into a new government.
But sir, you see, you don't change your winning team.
What are you talking about?
Winning team. No, but Sami, me say. If president takes his time.
Sami, the MPSS,
Mustafa Hamid.
Oh, Sami Nyabotre, me say, only the MOE.
No, you're on an minister for information.
Sami, let me show you.
Sami,
let me show you how they pretend to be working. Today, president will be going to Akimoda. He'll be traveling by road. Aye, a quantity to two. Sami, overnight, they stay on the road and work because president Befa.
Yeah.
So president goes to that road and president say, oh, a quantity here. Yeah. What do I say? President be same copy. The problems will raise ugly head again. Someone is saying yes, is no baby. No, Sammy, you see, and I make a choice here. President Famoto will so no pay. No bar. I'm sure he will summon this.
Oh, na President Famoto will so. Ofaso.
No, me say, oko faso so
Vice President Faso.
Ombe summon.
Finance Minister Faso. Oh, my son. Now, Vice Minister Naga Faso onye you man president now do have the same question so. No, president you know.
I said president fire. You see, president should cultivate the habit of firing ministers who are not working.
Asa on fire, you know. Young could break him there. On fire, you know.
On fire.
You know. On fire. And you're welcome back to the Happy Morning Show. You're 20 minutes to end the show this morning. You will be I received a couple of text messages. It will be message, and this is a friend. It says, Sammy, since you had a more lament you, what else can we do, my brother? When the lamentations are supposed to yield results, when the lamentations are meant to catch the attention of the authorities, to rectify the problems, the basic issues of Ghanaians. What else can we do? When you call them, there's a problem. Someone know about Kasa or radio, so any TV, so your network, your mobile, so I'm saying, for no questions on this, and I know a ding. Into from one, no more young who some can't we be. So what can we do? they're not really lamentations like that. They are throwing the facts at you as they are and seeing why it is problematic for these issues to be solved. Anopai, Minia, my twin brother, Peter Banfo, Kwaku Peter, I better come and anopai I'm in ADM Kobo. And no be ena bitrima mpese meka. But meka program the best say it's been can. But I have for a reason. And what's the reason? There was a release on the 29th of May from the Speaker's office. I'll read a bit of it and then I'll come to him to explain further what triggered the conversation we are about having. Maiden Speaker's Seminar Lecture Series was the Parliament of Ghana under the leadership of Right Honourable Abon S.K. Babin will on Tuesday, May 31st, host the maiden edition of the Speaker's Seminar Lecture. It is under the theme Parliament, Its Business and the Supreme Court in Perspective. The lecture seeks to stimulate public debate on the concept of separation of powers in the light of the Supreme Court decision in the Justice Abdullahi versus Attorney General case and the applicability of the political question doctrine in Ghana's jurisprudence. The event will afford key stakeholders and citizens the opportunity to reflect on how Parliament as an institution can navigate these challenges in the current context of a hung Parliament by coming up with key recommendations for consideration and implementation. Minia Peter Banfo, Ewa Menchenya, Anapai Menino Edi and Komakoku. Good morning.
Good morning, Kwame. And I'm hotelling.
I'm not doing no one. So, how do I address you?
Address me.
No, I only mentioned your name,
brother.
Yes, but yes, those were additions. But how do I address you? What portfolio?
The excellency.
May I add
excellency on your bad.
Excellency. How?
If you to my friend excellency, and my friend excellency and honorable and join your body.
In your mom,
well, I'm not catch the money uncle through.
Come now, you need na. Ma catch that about the life. Oh, you're short.
Oh, yeah,
Been carrying
in the mom who are not pay.
Come and collect it. How do you show?
Who are not pay there in Iowa and then complaining. But I ain't those times and the make say P. They, you know, my oral cordon, there's a need they put to me assistance and me P.
Be mindful where you're going. But be mindful where you're going.
Consistently, in the gargam all the time. Consistently, in the gargam all the time. Say, there, brain. My young speaker no answer my life.
So this lecture, tell us a bit more about the lecture. What brought about this whole idea to have this lecture in the first place?
It's been a while I came here, and I do hope the Mabe Manan be in teacher. Actually, Parliament as an institution, under the leadership of Professor Aaron Michael Quay. What strategic document be a guide the Parliament within the short to medium term. Miss Mentia, what year the document in there? If you are people are talking about inclusivity, people are talking about a more participatory approach to governance, people are talking about the need to have a system where there will be a dialogue all the time. My American me there to myself. Chede, no be here there. Brano, from time to time. Mamfuna, what were busy parliamentarians and other minister, the presidents, and you know, there must be that system of accountability. Now, the corporate strategic plan here, American one has 6 different goals, 8 different strategic objectives. No, my friend strategic initiatives, and there are quite a number of them, 64 or so of them. Cardinal amongst these, Kwamena, only there, Parliament no citizens, no media, no civil society be engaged from time to time. One of the rarest phenomena we've had, Kwamena, is this current hung parliament that we have. Mind you, we have not had any system like that before. I mean, we've never had, you know, a parliament where you have 137 members for NDC, 137 members for NPP, and then one independent candidate. The even striking thing, Kwamena, about them numbers here, Mark and Wasemi, only there, if you both sides of the house, you have 20 female MPs on both sides, 20 NDC, 20 NPP, and I'm sure that you have averted your minds to that. That speaks to the uniqueness of them current parliamentary architecture now year one. Now, from January 2021 through to now, if the level of citizen engagement as far as parliament as an institution is concerned now, it means that we've had an exponential leap. And Miss Mount Crawford were very interested in what goes on in parliament. Actually, back in the days, it didn't used to be like that. I mean, next 4 years. But now, people are more interested in what goes on in parliament. And I think that is very positive because globally, the globally accepted norm is that the inclusivity and the participatory approach to governance, I think that's very cardinal. I'm extremely excited that you know, people are more excited, people are more engaging now. On Cherry Bia Kwamena, na lecture be they well them case you've read portions of them story. Lecture be the issue of whether or not second deputy speakers should be allowed to vote. I mean, this generated a whole lot of controversy. I mean, all over the world. We have different jurisdictions, number one practices. But for over 30 years, I mean, we've not had deputy speakers voting. But for the first time, Yako Court, Supreme Court said no. On your right, there's deputy speaker, and the first and second deputy speaker, I think that is what has generated a lot more discussion, not only at the individual level or even peer-to-peer level, but even at the institutional levels. In our homes, people are discussing, the propriety of it. And I think it looks as if we don't have a coordinated, you know, format able to have them discuss now on create a problem. On it, the Right Honorable Speaker Alban S.K. Bagbin. Obeying since January 2021, our corporate strategy plan now. Also, there is a need for us to build on it. Build on what the predecessor started. This very event here, is just a continuation and the affirmation of the belief that no be here, the brano. Una is school for wo school. Ejumayefo, ejedifo, a teacher for, a nurse for, a lawyer for. You know, young parliament and it has everybody. Being them American, every background, you know, is in parliament. Until we need again to bring all these people together. Then this is the maiden edition of them seminar lecture here, Right Honorable Speaker Ozeribe. This is the maiden edition. And for the first time, we're discussing how Parliament as an institution, particularly if you look at the reason this matter went to court, has to do with MISMA Parliament internally. And when Ankasa problems what handle, it didn't generate chaos back in the days. But now, because of the unique nature of Parliament, now you've noticed the kind of acrimony that characterizes, you know, the business of the House from time to time. But I think one of the ways are able to reduce the level of acrimony is they're able to, from time to time, the dialogue will be expanded.
Now, I am looking at the whole idea, beautiful idea.
Right.
I'm looking at Moshe. One what target one because I can market women. You said there's a full representation of
absolutely,
in
absolutely.
Parliament. But if this is to make Parliament attractive to them, you may dear okay, me who paying for Bacasawase, meaning before Bacawase. My mamma Otiboma, if you are your Facebook, more Bacane, before I can say Bacane. Terminologies and jargons are all use.
Kwame, I can assure you that one of the things the use of them terminologies no jargons. But there's provision that has been made for Awana want, and of course that's why one of the things we considered on the important or the critical role the media will have to play. And this whole exercise, minimum them American entire. Inti, onya brofufu radio stations in Kutini Yederiba. We are bringing the local stations as well. Miss Mobeya more cordon, people who perhaps may not be fortunate enough to be able to speak Queen's English, Miss Awe Kawudi, you know, can also get to understand and appreciate what is going on. Inti, as a package, nobody is going. It's a holistic thing we're going to do. Nobody is going to be left out.
On the matter of the Supreme Court and its ruling, and the attempt to sync the ruling with the internal happenings in Parliament, on your no in a constitutional legislature, you are independent. Your decisions are yours. Your actions are yours. Executive, we're independent. Your decisions, your actions are yours. But to check and ensure accountability and the proper disbursement of Yensika Seminti, as a parliament, have some checks on the executive. But the judiciary, you're on your own. As much as approval for one Sika the parliament no bashe why in Huejuma. So if an independent body ruling and if you feel the ruling does not sit well, really does it matter that we have a conversation about how it situates into how Parliament runs?
Of course, Kwame, and again, judiciary, they are not on their own. I think that you have alluded to the fact that apart from Parliament approving the budget and all of that, I think that one of the things they do is also to vet nominees for you know, judicial positions.
I'm talking post-vetting.
So I mean, the checks are there, and from time to time we do have these checks rear their faces from time to time. But baby and you are ebokwa obakade court wama ruling court ama ruling area nti biale ntim nkan wasem.
True.
That's my American now. Because then ruling now man. I told you that actually the unique nature of the parliament here we are. It has generated a lot of discussion. And people have their lenses more focused on Mawai and what Chamber CCR done before. And so, if at the end of the day, and from time to time, Kwamina, you know, the expectations of Ghanaians are very high. What's in my MP into our passy baby, you know, the MP non count, then if you are not very careful, the constituents are, you know, saying all kinds of things, raising all kinds of accusations left, right, center. I mean, you have twice. And there was this side of the house, you know, are not happy with certain things the speaker has done. This side of the house is also not happy with certain things the speaker has done, and so on and so forth. The whole idea of them event is to situate the conversation properly.
All right. We have 3 minutes to run up our conversation.
Right.
1, speakers. 2, where it's happening.
Kwamina, Jumedi Orobado wa Accra International Conference Center. The speakers were carefully selected, carefully chosen. Professor Ernest Kofi Abochi, one of the celebrated legal luminaries we have in this country. Only the main speaker, and he is going to be exploring the nexus now between judiciary and the legislature, and then explore ways, of course, these arms can actually operate, carrying the citizens along, so that at the end of the day, the actions or inactions of each side or either side of the arm of government doesn't generate unnecessary hatred for themselves from the citizenry. One of the main speakers, Onenye Professor Kofi Abochi, we have 3 other discussants coming up.
Okay.
The first one is Thaddeus Sorry, he's a managing partner actually at, and then we have Clara Kasati. Clara Kasati, currently, you can say, or a lecturer at the University of Ghana, law school, another law faculty. And now, here was Dr. Emmanuel Akwete. Dr. Emmanuel Akwete, you have been a part of his advocacy all these years, urbano governance, and all of that. So we have carefully selected these speakers to come and assist the discussion. Mind you, on the Yerba Beka or your discussion, our ekebi, emunsum ekebi. At the end of the day, how do we get the machinery of parliament to operate, making sure that the citizens now what are constituted in parliament and are also part? We don't leave anybody behind. Most importantly, the work of civil society organization. Most importantly, the work of media personnel like you and I. And how all of this must feed into the overall goal of making Parliament a lot more representative than we used to have. It's going to be a great program, I can assure you. And if you look at the speakers, as I have already indicated now, we're looking forward to having a very exciting conversation this afternoon. This is the first in the series we're going to have. From time to time, we're going to be having these lecture series, and the topics are going to be selected to ensure that they actually have relevance to what pertains to our present circumstance, to what pertains to our present situation. So, Kwabena, I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to seeing your entire team. Isaac, unfortunately, all your wedding meant to Mama. I expect the Onana wife we'll have a great conversation that we are bringing.
Yo.
And then let me say thank you also for the opportunity.
I'm Ebisam there. But for now, I'm Metasane. No, Ebisam them question.
Monday, Monday, Meshatar for Mobamiya would do better. Then we can approach them who issue. Nature a program needing to milk off. I expect to be able to draw my attention so that I can come back and discuss the relevant.
Our for now, Ekano. Ebisa Madame Metasane.
Action could see me, of course, at the Gossens College. Thank you so much.
We'll all be there to learn a thing or two from Mobile Kodo area breed. And I invite you to be a part of the conversation this afternoon. We'll all be there to pick a few things from there. On that note, I will thank all of you for being a part of our discussion this morning on Happy 98.9 FM, Nisim 95.9 and 100.1 in Bogatanga and Tamale, and live on ETV, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well. God bless.